Fornia Castle's training grounds. Third Prince Theodulforian spars with his personal maid, Layla Orstein. Theo's losing, Layla mocks his retreat, and when he asks for another way, she warns that focusing only on defense is a trap. An opening will show. Theo gets dropped and Layla calls off practice. She tells him his gift ceremony is tonight. Theo cheered, calling Layla's sword skills incredible. Cooking, housework, etiquette, beauty, she's a pro. Plus, she's a former S-rank adventurer. Hearing this, she blushes, pulls him up, and insists he's way more impressive than her. Theo's crushed, he still can't use magic. A wave crashes in, catching him off guard. Prince Niels arrives, claiming he tried to wash Theo's sweat away but missed. He mocked Theo's talentless sword practice, hitting a nerve. Niels says royals get goddess gifts at 30, questioning the point of effort. Theo's left wondering what he means. Niel waves his hand, igniting a flash that rockets him into the ground. He calls effort pointless against such raw power, the blinding light leaving Theo sightless. Niels says your gift reflects your personality. He mocked, wondering what trash gift Theo would get. He flicked the light away and turned to leave, hyped for Theo's ceremony. Niels leaves and Layla hugs Theo from behind, promising he'll get a wonderful gift regardless of Niels' words. Fired up by her words, Theo thanked her, certain he'd score an epic gift at tonight's ceremony. At the ceremony, the priest delivers the news. Theo gets no gift. Theo and the crowd were stunned. This was a total first. Whispers filled the hall as the crowd questioned Theo's royal blood. Right then, Niel bursts into laughter, then fakes an apology, admitting he knew the ceremony was sacred. He slams Theo's back, mocking him for being hilarious. Before things escalated, King Gauss silenced Niels and coldly declared that it was like Theo was failing him on purpose. He won't let a goddess-forsaken failure stay in the castle. Now he just needs to decide Theo's fate. Niel pitched a plan perfect for a talentless loser like Theo. Just true to his word, Gauss appoints Theo as the lord of the land of death. The hall's stunned. Theo begs them to reconsider. The land of death is a toxic, monster-infested wasteland, yet his father still ordered him to rule it. Theo tries to argue, but Gauss snaps, shouting that he's talentless. Theo can't defy the king. He's ordered to pack his gear and head straight for the land of death. Theo realized his father was exiling him from the kingdom. Niels grabs Theo's shoulder, mocking his survival in the land of death and claiming the throne for himself. Niel laughs as Theo turns and exits the hall. Next morning, Theo says goodbye to his friends and sets off. Predictably, his dad and brother skipped his send-off. He wished them well and headed out. He's totally alone, but Layla was missing. Theo hoped for a final goodbye, but she was nowhere in sight. He turned back to the wagon. Layla's already there. Stunned, he demands to know why she came. She vows to follow him anywhere, but Theo warns her. He's heading to the land of death. Layla trusts their bond to conquer death, but Theo shuts her down, insisting he must go alone. Layla snapped, demanding to know what he was even saying. Reminding him she's his maid, she steps close and vows to follow him anywhere, even to hell or the demon realm. Theo asks if she's sure. She confirms and he thanks her. Layla smiles, whispering they're finally alone. Theo asks if she said more, but she plays it off as his imagination, doubling down even when he insists he heard her. After days of travel and multiple carriage swaps, they finally reach the land of death. Theo's terrified of what's coming, but Layla's presence keeps him steady. Still, he couldn't stop wondering why he never got a gift. He suspected it was all because he wasn't from this world. He flashed back to his past life as a salaryman. He worked late every night, even bringing the grind home. He was a corporate slave, buried in data for tomorrow's meetings. No time for showers, no time for games, just the endless grind. Theo was obsessed with a crafting game in school, but work killed his free time. He remembered walking home exhausted when his vision suddenly blurred. He wakes in a strange world. A winged woman appears, welcoming him to the realm of the gods. She's the goddess Vesta, and she's here to drop the truth. He's dead. Theo's stunned by the news as Vesta offers her condolences. She claps her hands and cuts to the chase. She wants him reincarnated in another world. Vesta tells a confused Theo to stop questioning. The gods have their reasons. She once promised him a special power if he ever reincarnated. Still dazed, Theo knew if he was stuck in a new world, he needed a handy power. Recalling his school-day gaming addiction, he requested those exact crafting powers. The goddess nodded, granting him the ability. Theo stops overthinking. Did he miss a gift because his reincarnation power is already active? As a prince with no chance to craft, he'd completely forgotten he even had it. Layla shakes him awake, they've arrived. Theo wakes up shocked on her lap. She says he fell and he just shrugs it off. Layla wanted to watch him sleep longer, but the coachman started yelling to move, making Theo wish they'd just woken him up. They hop off the carriage and survey the land of death, a rotting wasteland of dead plants and toxic air stretching to the mountains. Theo notes the place is empty, but Layla warns it's not meant for humans. Theo warns it's freezing tonight, but Layla tells him not to worry. They suggest huddling for warmth, but Theo warns it won't be enough to survive this place. Layla looks hurt and a stunned Theo asks if she's serious. She looks away, muttering that being alone here gives her plenty of opportunities. Theo shifts gears, they need to find a house. He remembers his past life's crafting addiction and the goddess granting him those powers. Time to test that power. Theo tells Layla to clear the trees and she's on it. She draws her blade and shreds them effortlessly. She asks if that's enough. Shocked again, he remembers her adventure past and thanks her. Layla asks about the logs and Theo reveals he's building a house. They need rocks, but Theo struggles to lift a massive boulder. Layla hoisted it easily and they stockpiled logs and stones. Layla offered to assemble it, but Theo stopped her and took over. Watching Theo touch the logs, he remembered the goddess's crafting gift, even though he'd never used it or built a house. Power surged through him, letting him shape and create anything he could imagine. Instantly, a massive house materializes. Layla's shocked, is this his real power? Theo explains that even without a ceremony gift, he already possessed this strength. Layla tackles him in a hug, admitting she always knew his lack of a gift was weird. Embarrassed, Theo accepts her apology for losing control and tells her to head inside. Inside, the furniture was already neatly set. Hard to believe they were just wood and stone when Theo finds a bare bed frame and realizes he can't craft full items without the right materials. He figured his clothes could work as substitutes. He tests the idea with whatever's on hand. Theo finishes the bed and collapses, relieved they can finally sleep in the warmth. That night, Layla shocks Theo by walking in wearing a bold nightdress, calmly claiming it's just her pajamas. Layla heads to bed, but when Theo offers to prep a separate spot, she's completely baffled. She insists on staying close to protect him. With only one bed, sharing is warmer and lets her monitor his heat. Separate rooms are pointless. Theo's flustered by her logic. She pins him to the wall, asking if he gets it. Pressured and annoyed, he finally caves. Settling in for bed, Theo feels Layla right against him. He brings it up, but she brushes it off as his imagination. Still uneasy, Theo insists she's way too. He backs away, telling her to do whatever she wants. Day 1 in the land of death finally ends. Theo survived the day thanks to Layla and his hidden gift. With her by his side, he's certain he'll make it. Next morning, a sudden tremor jolts them awake. Theo heads out to investigate, but Layla stops him. It's too dangerous to go alone. Theo steps outside to a charging minotaur, frozen with indecision. Layla dives in, pulling Theo to safety. He thanks her, but she brushes him off and orders him back. Theo asks if this creature is a monster from the land of death. Layla snaps at the minotaur, demanding why it dared ruin her honeymoon with Theo. Theo warned her to stay sharp, this was a death trap. He knew Layla could win, but felt wrong letting her face every monster alone. Terrified, he steps up to handle it alone. Layla warns him he'll get hurt. Theo tells her not to worry, he's reusing the house materials. He touched the structure, erasing it as he imagined new possibilities. He believed creativity made him limitless. Seconds later, he forges a massive axe. The Minotaur charges, but Theo's axe drops it effortlessly. His power wasn't built for combat like Niels's, but he could still fight. Minotaur down, Theo's relieved the fight went way better than expected. Exiled from the capital, he had zero clue what to do next. Layla hoists Theo up, hyping him as incredible. Theo's baffled but secretly hyped. In this wasteland, his gift lets him craft anything with the right materials, just like the games he played in school. Theo tells Layla he finally found his purpose. She asked what it was, but Theo warned her the road ahead would be brutal. He vowed to use his power to reclaim and restore the land. Layla spins him around, cheering for his goal as a blushing Theo begs to be put down. Next morning, Theo swings the window open, still stunned they're actually living here. They scored a house yesterday, now what's the next move? He hits the kitchen to find Layla's already prepped breakfast. Theo loves the food. Layla apologizes it's not royal grade, but he brushes it off. He praises her for turning castle rations into a feast. She's incredible. Layla offers her food and tries hand-feeding him. Stunned, Theo insists she eat too. Rations are running dry and they need a plan fast. Layla suggests starting with a farm. Theo agrees with steady food, they can finally expand their land. Hyped to start farming after lunch, they head out back, but a grim Theo warns this is the land of death where nothing grows. Layla warns the land is poisoned and the kingdom failed to reclaim it, but Theo insists they try anyway. He crafts a stone hoe from logs and stones, a total game changer. They tilled the land to the limit, then took a quick break. Theo thought they were done after tilling and fertilizing the soil. Wei hoping crops would finally grow. He's wiped out farming,'s never been this brutal. He's dying for a bath and Layla wants in too. Toxic air poisoned the water, forcing them to ration their clean supplies. Theo knew the priorities: food, water, and surviving monster attacks. Problems piled up, he saw it coming, but the weight was still crushing. Night falls, they crash. They slept together and Theo knew he had to act. He snaps awake and tells Layla they're sleeping in separate beds. He looked over, but she was already out cold. He couldn't blame her. She'd woken up early, cooked, and outworked him on the farm all day. He questioned if he was useless. He tucked her in and vowed to work harder. Mind made up, he hit the sack, ready to work twice as hard as Layla tomorrow. Vesta tries his old name, but switching to his new one snaps Theo awake. She greets him, scaring Theo onto his back. Vesta notes he's still fit, explaining she only summoned his consciousness. She takes the blame, telling a confused Theo she couldn't give him a gift when he was exiled at 13. He already has an autograph, and humans can't handle more than one gift. Hearts explode and blood sprays from every opening. Theo's terrified. Vesta keeps apologizing, but Theo shuts her down, telling her he's actually grateful. He thanked her for the epic gift. Vesta broke down and dropped to her knees. She kneels, offering an apology gift, a gold god medal surging with divine power. He whispered that it's forbidden for mortals, but he can have it. Theo stunned, can he really accept something this valuable? Vesta silences him, calling him her special favorite and adding a bonus kiss. She tells him to use the goddess's blessing, wishes him luck, and vows to always root for him. Theo snaps awake in bed. He mentions the goddess, wondering if it was all a dream. He tells himself it had to be. Something moves under his blanket, it's Layla. Stunned, he demands she leave, but she plays it cool, claiming she's just thinking. She ignores him. Theo blushes and recoils, swearing it's just a biological reaction, not lust. Layla shows Theo the brick, and he identifies it as god metal. The dream was real, he thanked the goddess, then Layla brought up the soil's condition. Theo just woke up, but checking it reveals a shock, it's back to its original state. He assumed it dried overnight and was always barren. He realized tilling wasn't enough, this land had far bigger problems than just farming. Layla's ready to till, but Theo hesitates. She pushes to swap fertilizer and try everything. To test which crops would grow there. Theo's sick of being useless, it's time to work harder. He vows they'll make it work and tells Layla to rest, but she refuses, insisting the hard labor is her duty. Theo knew his sword training wasn't just for show. His attitude stunned Layla. Theo touches the ground, warning that mindless tilling is useless. They need to study the soil and find the right fertilizer first. A screen pops up, the soil is ranky trash, poisoned by toxic air. Nothing grows here without a divine blessing to purify it. Theo froze in shock. Layla asked what was wrong, but he wondered, could she not see it? Only he can see the transparent screen, he then. A goddess's blessing, talk about convenient, he'll thank her later. Crops won't grow without divine purification. Suddenly a screen reveals his X-rank god medal, a divine tool forged by the gods to bless the land. Theo's hyped seeing this. He figured god metal could purify the contaminated soil. The goddess foresaw this, arming him with analysis and the god metal. He finally knew his mission, tearing the hoe apart, and he fuses wood and god metal, auto-crafting a divine hoe. Layla's confused, but Theo tells her to watch. He slams the hoe down and a blinding light erupts. Nothing changed at first, but then the soil stats hit rank X in divine quality, granting residents the goddess's blessing and excellent crops. Theo's hyped it actually worked. Theo tells Layla the hoe purifies soil. She's skeptical, but he confirms they can finally farm. Layla goes for a hug, but Theo beats her to it. She's flustered. He's never initiated before. Theo finally felt useful, and he owed it all to Layla and the goddess. He thanks her, but Layla feels strange and starts overheating. Shocked, Theo checks on her and offers to carry her to bed, assuming she's exhausted. Vesta relaxes in the bath, watching Theo through her orb. Athene drops by, asking if Vesta's guarding Theo again. Stunned, Vesta calls Theo amazing for turning her god metal into a hoe. Athene mocks his weakness against her hero, prompting Vesta to call her a shameless cute girl collector. Athene fires back that heroes just happen to be cute and tells the shotgun to stop calling her. Athena asks, watching Theo, he's linked to her cute hero. Vesta's stunned. How did she miss such a massive detail? Vesta gets teased for using mortal slang, but she snaps back, swearing she's officially done with Theo. She wished Theo luck, promising to always root for him. Theo remembers last night's documents about the kingdom's plan to reclaim the land. Records show the toxic air only hit the surface, deep underground is still safe. Theo finally secured the water. Ranksea groundwater is clean and safe to drink. Well finished, they cheer by the water. Theo figured the rest was easy, till the soil, sow the seeds and water the crops. Exhausted, Theo hits the dirt. He's done, the work is endless and he's reached his limit. Layla brings water to check on Theo, but he insists he just needs a quick breather. Layla grabs the hoe to keep working, but Theo stops her. She's already fainted once. He orders her to rest. Layla tries to refuse, but Theo snaps, ordering her to rest and stop overworking. Feeling the weight of his words, she finally gives in. Theo calculated how many days he'd need solo. He wants a tractor, but lacks the materials to build one. He didn't even know what a tractor was, preferring manpower or cattle instead. It seemed smart, but the place is deserted. Where would they even find cattle? Layla proposed a plan for that. He can autocraft them, but a shocked Theo calls it a moral crime. Theo fears the unknown price he'll have to pay. Layla claims she's only joking, but Theo isn't buying it. While they brainstorm, Theo hits on a genius idea. He'd build what he lacked. Layla asks if he means human transformation, but Theo shuts her down. He refuses to create living beings. He envisioned a dream-born tool that handles any job perfectly. Layla reads his mind as Theo lists the essentials: tons of earth, stone, and magicite. He reminds her magicite is monster-harvested mana used to buff weapons, craft gear, and provide power. Devastated, Layla calls herself a failed maid for not fulfilling his desire and vows to make it up to him personally. She closed in, catching Theo off guard. He quickly blurted out they already had magicite from his last kill. They arrive and Theo gathers the materials. He triggers autocraft with magicite, summoning a golem. Layla's stunned. Theo actually built a golem, and he immediately orders it to the fields. The golem snaps and charges straight for him. Theo wonders if creating it was a mistake. Surprisingly, the golem hoists him up, leaving him stunned. Thinking Theo's under attack, Layla readies a strike against the golem. Theo stops her, claiming the golem isn't hostile. He orders it away. Seeing the golem fawn over Theo, Layla fumes with jealousy, unable to stand it. Theo wonders if golems have failings. Layla explains his weird method gave it a soul, making Theo feel like he's performed human transmutation. Still a success, he orders the golem to grab a hoe and till the land. Golem grabs the hoe and starts tilling. Theo's hyped, it's truly amazing. The golem helps them till the land fast, sowing and watering everything by afternoon. Theo eats as Layla declares their food shortage solved, unless something goes wrong. Theo agreed, hyped for the months ahead. Next morning, Theo's stunned. The vegetables grew overnight. Blessed soil grows out of season crops, but a full harvest in just one day. He never expected this. He calls the golem and Layla over, food secured. They celebrate with a high five. Theo grabs a fruit, curious about the taste. Layla grabbed it to check for poison, but Theo already confirmed the tomato was safe and top tier. One taste and the flavor explodes. Packed with sweet umami, it's incredibly juicy. It tasted like meat. Was it even a vegetable? Layla asks if it's okay. Theo says it's perfect and hands her one to try. She hesitates, but one bite later, she loves it. Theo says if it's this good raw, it'll be even better cooked. Layla's shocked he's cooking, but she's hyped for his first harvest. Theo's nervous. She's taking this way too seriously. They bring the veggies inside. Layla cooks while Theo waits, then thanks him for his patience. Serving chickpea corn soup, 5-veg tempura, and vibrant steamed veggies in miso and cabbage rolls. Theo gives the nod and they dig in. The food is incredible. Theo's blown away by the crunch. He can't believe it's just vegetables. The steamed veggies hit with an umami punch that paired perfectly with the miso sauce. He never knew corn and chickpeas hit this hard. He's hyped he tried these all-veggie cabbage rolls. Perfectly balanced and masterfully prepared, the food left them speechless for minutes. Heading outside, Theo cheers that the harvest is over and they're finally stuffed. Only one task remains. He calls the golem to see if the materials are ready. Golem shows the stones and logs and Theo thanks him. It's more than enough. Layla curiously asks about the golem. Theo names the golem Gorm. The beast loves it and Layla follows suit, thanking Gorm by name. Gorm's hype leaves Layla wondering what he's been doing with them. Gorm nears and Layla panics. Is Theo building a new house to leave her behind? Theo admits he's not building a house but something else. Since they have water, he asks if she wants to wash away the fatigue. Theo uses autocraft to build an outdoor hot spring. The high-class Japanese vibe hit him hard. It had been ages since his last soak. Layla was stunned by the magnificent bath he'd built. Theo hands her bath supplies, tells her to wash up, and heads to the men's side to meet her after. Layla stays silent as Theo heads to the bath, joking he'll strike while the iron's hot, but first he needs a shower. Layla offers to help and Theo blindly accepts. He spots Layla and panics, yelling it's the wrong bath, but she says gender divisions are pointless. Layla rubs his back, claiming it's her duty as a servant. Theo panics, but she insists he can't wash alone. He agrees but screams for her to leave. Layla isn't afraid and refuses to obey, making Theo question their master-servant bond. Layla gets close, claiming skinship is part of the job, but Theo's weirded out. She's totally crossing the line. They hit the hot springs, Theo relaxing after Layla's scrubbed down. She enjoys the moment, then tells him to look up. Theo looked up. Without city lights, the stars were clearer, even above this dark, toxic land. He looked at the stars and called them beautiful. He'd never seen this in his past life or the capital. It felt wrong to admit, but he was glad they reached the land of death. Surrounded by new luxury, he asks Layla to stay despite his flaws, and she vows to follow him anywhere. Deep in the mountains, a cat girl watches rising steam. She notes humans are a rare sight in these parts. Theo wakes at dawn to train his blade with Layla. He worked the fields daily, harvesting hard. Blessed soil or not, he never slacked off. Every night he reads, sharpening his mind and plotting his future. He was living his best life in the land of death. One major problem remained: 0 citizens. Life was stable, but he hadn't reached his true goal yet. Even counting Gorm, he only has 2 citizens. It barely counted as a village, normally. Step inside and you're a citizen, but this is the land of death. He believed people only stumbled in by pure luck. A noise from the fields caught his ear. Someone had wandered in. He froze. A massive monster loomed right in front of him. Terrified, he panicked. What now? He sensed a goddess-like aura, but the monster told him not to worry. Theo's stunned it can talk, and the monster introduces herself as Luna, a proud Fenrir and divine wolf. Theo froze at the name Fenrir, the legendary divine wolf almost no one has ever seen. How was he supposed to fight that? Luna reminds him, stop worrying, she's not here to fight. Theo's stunned, but Luna understands his fear. She flashes white, morphing into a cat girl. She asks if this form makes talking easier. Theo stunned, a Fenrir just turned human. Luna apologizes for the scare, revealing she's here with a request. Theo was. She just wants his veggies. He's confused. Is that really all? Luna isn't hostile, so Theo lets her stay. He offers her a massive harvest feast, leaving a stunned Luna asking if he's for real. Theo grabs some fruit, unsure if she'll even like the taste. Luna calls the meal a blessing, claiming she hasn't eaten this well in 1,000 years, leaving Theo completely baffled. Luna explains that a millennium ago, the land was pure and fertile, but its crops still couldn't beat Theo's. A massive war ravaged the land, leaving it choked with toxic air. Theo realized the toxic air wasn't natural, and asked if she'd been there for 1,000 years. She agrees, so he suggests she move. Luna calls it home, that's why it's precious. She couldn't abandon the land, so she's thrilled Theo restored it and made it thrive again. She asks his name and he introduces himself. Luna stretches, thanking him for his help and that incredible meal. Theo brushes off her thanks, but Luna stands firm. She won't budge. Returning favors is her fangirl code and he's forced to accept. She blesses him with a forehead kiss. She grants him Fenrir's favor. It's all she can do for now. Theo's flustered as Luna says goodbye, admitting she hasn't been this happy in years. Theo realized she'd lived in this land for 1,000 years. He calls out, telling her to wait. He asked if she'd join his domain. Luna teases him about reining her in. Stunned, Theo denies it instantly. Luna laughs off the joke and asks for time to think. Theo agrees, giving her all the time she needs. Luna promised to return next time they met. She promised a better gift, telling him to get ready. Theo blushes at the better gift. Luna shifts into Fenrir and heads out. Theo's destined for greatness, but he's keeping it secret so Layla doesn't freak out. Next day, Theo's working the fields when a sudden rustle catches his ear. He turns to find a wounded girl begging for help. The girl collapses. Theo shouts for Layla to grab the medkit. They bring her inside. She wakes up later and immediately asks where she is. Hearing she's awake, Theo rushes in to check on her. She accepts, then asks his name. Theo introduces them, explaining Layla fainted right at his doorstep. She catches on and thanks them for patching her up. Aisha introduces herself. Theo sits down, wondering why she even showed up. Aisha suddenly realizes she has to move fast, but she tries to stand, but her head throbs. Theo tells her to rest and sends Layla to grab the castle's healing herbs. These nutritious herbs blend into medicine to heal any injury, but making a effective medicine demands elite skill. Theo brews a potion with autograph. Aisha's confused, but he tells her to drink up and feel better. Aisha downs it instantly, her wounds sealing and the pain vanishing. She asks if he's a wizard or alchemist. Theo hesitates, then says it's something like that. Aisha stands, vowing to repay him one day. Theo asks if she's leaving so soon. Layla asks if they're near Fornos. Theo explains it's a fortress guarding against land of death monsters, but Layla cuts in, it's still dozens of miles away. Theo confirms they're in the land of death, and Aisha panics. She went the wrong way and needs to move fast or else. Or things would get ugly. Theo asked what was wrong, telling her to open up to them. Aisha reveals goblins are raiding her village, leaving Theo and Layla stunned. Goblins are weak alone but deadly in packs, and they're smart enough to understand human speech. She's from Moa village in Vitoa territory. A goblin pack moved in days ago. With the villagers defenseless, the goblins move in and demand food. They kept demanding more until the villagers pushed back. With no food left, the goblins demanded women for breeding. The villagers refused the horrific fate, so the monsters threatened to slaughter everyone one by one. She escaped the village to find help. Theo asks why Fornos, the lord of Vitoa, would have been way faster. Aisha already tried, but the lord has no time for a backwater village. Theo heard the lord was a ruthless tyrant who bled his people dry with taxes and ignored the famine. Aisha thanks Theo for his care, but insists she must keep seeking help. Theo makes her wait, then leads her to the storehouse, leaving Aisha in total shock. Theo's glad he stocked up. Heading inside, Aisha and Layla wonder what he's planning. Theo orders them to wait, activating his unique power to manifest video game mechanics. He spawns an inventory and loots everything. Everything vanishes, leaving Aisha stunned. Theo explains it's basically magic, stashing it all in his custom dimension. He asks her to lead them to her village. Fornos is too far. Instead, they're heading out to save the villagers themselves. Riding the golem toward the village, Aisha questions Theo's resolve. She feared the danger, but Theo told her to relax and leave the village to him. Goblins lurked past the forest, but he felt zero fear. Courage surged through him as he reflected. Luna granted him Fenrir's blessing. He triggers analysis to check the effects. Theo's profile reveals autocraft, goddess favor, and Fenrir favor. Fenrir's blessing boosts his leg strength and grants him the willpower to conquer fear. Stunned by the truth, Theo realized Luna was the reason he felt no fear. Aisha points ahead, claiming the village as hers. Rushing to save everyone, Theo spots a goblin horde about to strike the villagers. The goblins spot Theo's group and mark them as enemies. Theo orders Gorm to charge. He orders them to jump off Gorm on 3. Layla's in, but Aisha thinks it's too risky. Theo counts to 3, they leap, and Gorm slams into the goblin. Aisha screams as they fall, but Theo stays cool. He pulls cloth from his inventory, creating a cushion for a safe landing. Theo lands right between them, leaving everyone a blushing mess. Aisha apologizes for being heavy, but Theo shuts her down and takes the blame. The goblins closed in. Theo tells Aisha to wait. She warns him it's dangerous. Theo promised to save the village, and she trusted him. Blushing, she wondered why her heart raced for a younger guy like Theo. Theo tells Aisha to move, and she follows. Theo triggers autocraft as Aisha readies her intermediate Orstein blade. Theo and Layla's blasts shredded the goblin horde. The surviving goblins panicked, rushing to alert their boss. Layla orders them to stay, but Theo stops her chase. The village's safety comes first. She let the goblins flee, leaving the rescued villagers in total relief. A girl asks who Theo is. To gain their trust, Theo drops the lies and reveals he's the third prince of Fornia and lord of the land of death. Aisha's jaw dropped. Theo's a prince. Villagers whisper, doubting Theo's strange powers and his royal blood. Theo should have lied. These villagers clearly hate royalty. Aisha's hyped, announcing to everyone that Theo's a prince. Theo finally feels accepted by her parents. The villagers bow in thanks, but he tells them to drop the formalities. Aisha warns them to stay sharp. The goblins are still plotting deep in the woods. Cut to a cave deep in the forest. Goblins warn their boss, the humans are lethal and the village is a death trap. The boss wondered if that's why they ran. It hates him, calling him a disgrace. Let's make it punchier. A goblin tries to deny fleeing, but the boss decapitates him for being a disgrace. Actually, vowing to crush the lowly humans, their leader was the Goblin King. Chief Exiled Mowel steps forward, thanking Theo and Bode for saving the village. Goblins, Theo says he just did what was right. God hands over a stone, the village's only gift of thanks. Theo's stumped, but Layla takes one look and identifies it as orichalcum. Galad explains this rare metal is a national treasure for Gear. A tiny piece is worth hundreds of gold. A man blocks Galad, calling him insane for handing their ancestral treasure to royalty. Galad snaps at Jack, telling him to respect the person who just saved their lives. Jack scoffs, saving them doesn't matter. Royals never risk their lives for commoners without a hidden motive. He turns to the villagers, asking if they feel the same. The room erupted, and Theo realized some here truly loathed the royals and nobles. Issy stops everyone, shouting that Thea isn't like the Lord. He helped her even as a stranger. She snapped that Theo saved them all, silencing the insults. The villagers couldn't deny the truth, but Jack's argument still held weight. Galad insists Theo take the treasure, but he hesitates, claiming it belongs to the village. Galad doesn't care, this village is doomed anyway. Theo asks why, but Galad says the answer is already obvious. The Goblin King is in the forest, and Theo knows exactly what that means. The Goblin King was leagues stronger and smarter than any ordinary grunt. Galad heard the Goblin King can even crush a Minotaur or a Kegian. The goblins are returning with their king, so he tells Theo to grab the treasure and escape with the kids now. Jack demands they all escape together, but Galad warns they'll only slow the younger villagers down. Jack vows to solo the goblins. Theo backs him up. He vowed to save everyone, leaving no one behind. All eyes on Theo as Galad questions his plan. The goblins have the village surrounded, and there's no escape. Galad sees no escape, but Theo refuses to run. They're fortifying the village to take the goblins head-on. Jack sharpens his blade, certain Theo's hiding a secret agenda. He remembered the lesson, the strong must protect the village. He swore he'd do the same. He didn't need help from some arrogant royal. Theo uses autocraft to instantly spawn a watchtower. Theo stuns Jack, apologizing and asking for wood and iron. Someone says Theo could tear his whole house apart. Theo thanks him. Another man offers his tools, but Jack calls them fools for trusting a royal. Theo auto-crafts the materials into protective walls. He goes to move, but something's wrong. He nearly collapses. Layla rushes over, worried Theo's crafted too much too fast. He's hit his limit, and she demands he rest. Theo refused. No time left. He had to save the village. Jack hears everything, reminded of the moment he froze instead of protecting the village. Theo fought the goblins to save them. He's pushing past his limits to save everyone. Jack confronts Theo, asking what he wants. Theo got the hint. He'd heard Jack was the village's strongest fighter. He forges him a spear, ordering him to protect everyone if the defenses fall. Jack grabbed the spear, warning Theo not to get the wrong idea. He still didn't trust him. He was only protecting the village. Theo spots Aisha standing back and asks if something's wrong. She hesitates while staring, but Theo calls her out for watching him. Flustered, she hides her face and claims he wasn't even in her sight. Kids and seniors are evacuated. She asks for her next task. Theo paused, then assured them everything was fine. The villagers were helping and things were running smooth. A man calls Theo away. He tells Aisha to wait, promising he's there if she needs anything. Theo gets back to work with the team. Aisha kept watching him, face totally flushed. The Goblin King's army storms from the forest, ready to massacre the entire village. The Goblin King fumed, cursing his useless subordinates for letting a mere village terrify his army. He'll kill one to set an example, then target the village women. They burst from the woods to find the villagers already waiting, armed with bows and spears. From the watchtower, Theo orders the Goblin King to retreat. He promised that if he complied, the villagers wouldn't attack. One step forward and every goblin dies. The king's livid, Theo's looking down on him. He ordered his entire army to charge. Theo snapped as a goblin sneered that the early bird gets the women. Another questioned their sanity. Suddenly Theo signals, and the goblin who spoke of the women is instantly blown apart. Shocked, the group spins toward Theo, staring down a wall of cannons. Theo orders the attack. Goblins reach the wall, one climber boasting they'll slaughter every villager the moment they're over. He hits the top and spearmen drive blades through his skull, killing him instantly. Villagers cheer, but Theo rallies them to drive the goblins back. Enraged, the Goblin King slashes the earth, shattering the gate and tower. Theo and his team are launched, but he autocrafts cushions midair for a soft landing. Theo orders the front line back to the shelter. The Goblin King saw everything. He knew Theo was the leader. He knew killing the leader ends the fight fast, but Layla says he'll have to go through her first. Calling her a queen, the Goblin King admits he loves tough women and demands she become his. Layla glares and shuts him down. Her heart already belongs to another. The Goblin King says killing her lover makes her his to claim. He orders his goblins to capture her but keep her face untouched. Layla snaps at their threats, drawing her blade to unleash the shining silver lotus shreds the goblins. She pulled back her blade, declaring it over, but the goblin horde still had her surrounded. They swarm her as the Goblin King orders the charge. Layla raises her blade, daring them to go through her first. The Goblin King refuses, unleashing a massive army. Layla realizes her mistake. Charging in was reckless against those numbers. He baited her to gain an edge on Theo. She knew the Goblin King was smart, but this was next level. The Goblin King charges Theo, while Layla screams for him to retreat. He says in Gorm the Goblin King can't touch him easily. Theo refused to leave the villagers in danger, vowing to slay the Goblin King right there. The Goblin King sneered, mocking the humans' hilarious jokes. Theo tells the king he's about to find out if he's joking. Theo pulls a massive stone block from his inventory and drops it on the Goblin King. He crushed it instantly. Theo seizes the opening to autocraft a ballista. Spears fly at the Goblin King, but he catches them effortlessly. He asks if Theo's done playing games, saying he's sick of dealing with kids. Telling Theo to die already, he lunges at the Theo expected the same slash. The Goblin King strikes, triggering an explosion. Too easy, the Goblin King sensed something was wrong. He didn't feel like he'd actually cut Theo down. 8-4, 60%, perfect. Final, Theo's overhead diving down with his sword. Theo's overhead diving down with his sword. It's a massive risk, but Theo remembers using autograph to spawn 5 earth blocks midair. He vaults the king's swing, repositioning to strike while he's wide open. It was time to unleash the results of Layla's training. He blasts the Goblin King with a silver strike, but it does 0 damage. His blade shatters. Theo stunned, the Goblin King's skin is insanely tough. The Goblin King boots Theo straight into the trees. He approached, admitting Theo gave him a scare, but mocked his weak, dull blade. Theo trembles at the king's insane power, but he has to take him down. The Goblin King lifts his foot to crush Theo, checkmate. Jack charges in screaming, but his spear shatters on impact. Theo's stunned to see Jack, who heard from the front lines that Layla is crushing the goblins. Theo's soloing the Goblin King. He tells Jack to stay back, but Jack retorts that without him, Theo would already be dead. The Goblin King mocks Jack as a pawn, ordering him to stay out of the fight. He lunges at Jack, but Theo steps in. Jack calls humans soft. The Goblin King targets Theo next. Dazed and cornered, Theo realizes he can't dodge this hit. Earth blocks won't lift him anymore. This plan is a bust. He triggers Fenrir's leg boost instead of leaping up. Theo rockets down at high speed. Theo's insane speed stuns the Goblin King, and he mocked Theo that dull blade still couldn't cut him. Leo remembered his tough village medal. Is a specific spelling, I'll keep it. Final check, original, and used it to create an orichalcum sword, shocking Jack. Rewrite. Theo weaponized the sacred stone. Jack flashed back to the chief, calling it the village's ultimate treasure. Plus a guardian relic for when disaster strikes. Theo blasts the Goblin King with silver strike again, and this time it connects. Jack stunned, the Goblin King drops and Theo staggers, finally realizing. He realizes he won, then collapses. Jack catches him and praises his great work. They both smile. Layla arrives and they head back to the villagers. Theo gives the all clear, and Aisha sprints over for a relieved hug. Theo's embarrassed as a jealous Layla tells Aisha to back off. Realizing Aisha's tears were pure gratitude, she stayed silent. Theo comforted Aisha, promising it was over, while the villagers finally emerged, safe at last. Drinks flow as a man toasts to victory and Theo, the battle's MVP. Everyone's having a blast, and Aisha hugs Theo, calling him incredible. He's happy, but how did it come to this? Layla storms in with food and glares at Aisha, demanding they switch places. Her terrifying look sends Aisha into a total panic. Layla drags Theo away to serve her meal, leaving Aisha stunned. She brags about her cooking skills and whips him up a meal too. They're rivals now, Chief. Galette laughs at their entertaining display, but Theo snaps, "Stop watching and start helping." Galed refused, unwilling to spoil the fun for a kid like Theo. Theo's unease spiked as Galed credited him for the night's success. They knew life would be perfect with Theo as Lord. Theo snaps, bolts up from between Aisha and Layla, and promises to eat later. He auto-crafts a steel step stool. He jumped up, grabbed their attention, and cut straight to the point. He offered them citizenship in his land of death. Everyone is stunned. How do they join? Is it safe, or will monsters hunt them down? Theo's power is reclaiming the land of death, but the burden is too heavy to carry alone. He's helpless and needs their help. Only Jack raises his hand, choosing to follow Theo. Jack tells the doubters to stay behind if they fear the land of death. The crowd snaps, calling him a hypocrite for his past hatred toward Theo. Aisha joins Theo and the chief approves, telling everyone to be honest. The villagers agreed. They were nervous, but they trusted Theo. The crowd roared Theo's name, hailing him as prince. Theo was now moved to tears by their loyalty. The new lord and his people partied until dawn. Next day they set off. Theo loads his extra gear onto a wagon carrying the elders. Gorm hauls the wagon for half a day until they reach Theo's domain. All they see is a lone house in a barren wasteland. Silence falls. Theo's first order: build houses for everyone. He opens his inventory and triggers auto-craft. He'd already planned the housing with Layla for the arriving citizens. He says he can easily remake or modify the houses on command. He spawned multiple structures at once, appearing instantly. Aisha screamed, stunned by that insane power. Layla goes to praise Theo, but he collapses from overexertion. Theo wakes up in a bed, wondering where he is. He remembered fainting from overbuilding and vowed to boost his stamina. Aisha walks in, sees Theo's awake, and checks on him. Theo's confused, asking why she's dressed like that. Layla bursts in, hiring Aisha as a maid after sensing her massive potential. Aisha greets Theo, glad to work for him, until Layla suddenly strikes her down. Layla snaps, jealous that Aisha used Theo's name. She orders her to call him Prince, and Aisha obeys. Theo tells Aisha to drop the formalities and speak normally. He'd feel bad if she stayed this stiff. He tells her to use his name, then asks if the villagers are doing okay or if anything's making them unhappy. Aisha told him to look out the window and see what was happening. Theo opens the window and sees everyone living happily. Aisha says everyone's hyped for their new life. Theo smiled, glad they liked it. If they loved living here, he couldn't be happier. He weighed his next move. In the Fornia throne room, hero Alice and her party stand before King Gauss. Gauss tells him Alice pulled off another massive feat. Alice shrugged it off, claiming she just did what any hero would. Gauss calls her reliable, saying the goddess will be pleased, but Alice laughs off the flattery. Women mock Alice's weak bloodline, demanding she kneel before the king. Knight Sana warns Alice to stay quiet, while Martina the mage begs her to behave through a stomach ache. Gauss asks about the victory speech and summons his son for the big celebration. Alice remembers Theo and asks if he's coming too. Gauss thanked Alice for tolerating his idiot son all these years, but told her she didn't need to worry anymore. He's done for good, leaving a confused Alice demanding an explanation. Gauss reveals Theo is talentless, giftless, and forsaken by the goddess. He sent Theo to the land of death to die in a ditch or flee, certain he'd never return. Furious, Alice demanded to know, did the king really send Theo here for such a stupid reason? Alice threatens to kill him, so Sana muzzles her, blaming exhaustion and asking Gauss to end the talk. Alice keeps muttering murder, but Sana sees her exhaustion and shuts the conversation down. Alice is livid, but Sana warns her to cool it. Killing the king would trigger a total bloodbath. Alice fumes that Gauss exiled Theo. Sana tells her to respect the king, sensing her worry. Alice snaps that Theo isn't her fiancé, but Sana never even suggested it. Alice feared for Theo and urged a capital escape, while Sana admitted she hated the royals. Alice avoided the man, but Niels suddenly arrived and greeted her. Alice calls him by name, but he demands she say Prince. He's royalty and she's a commoner, goddess chosen or not, she needs to show respect. Alice apologizes for being distant and tries to leave, but Niels stops her, revealing he's here with a proposal. Alice is confused, but Niels suddenly proposes, leaving her stunned. The first prince is missing, Theo's in the land of death, and now he's the next king. The people trust Alice and her help makes ruling easy. It's a win for her too, since she's tired of hunting monsters. Alice snaps, mocking Niels for making it this far as a fool. A confused Niels asks what she means. He's not getting it, so Alice spells out her reasons. Theo remembered the goddess tossing him more god metal like pocket money, a rare treasure she shouldn't be giving away so casually. He'd never be king. Second, she's proud to protect people in her current role. Third, she'd never marry an arrogant jerk who thinks everyone's beneath him. She sides with Theo, but Niels is the one who banished him. She flips him off, declaring him her enemy. Niels snapped, sick of everyone always leaving him. Furious, he screams Theo's name. What makes him so special? Martina reels from Niels' erupting mana, while Alice wonders if this is his true gift. Niels finally reveals his great sage gift to her for the first time. He flexed his massive mana and elemental mastery as the ultimate gift. Alice knew the power was already going to his head. Niels yells for her to shut up and submit to his power. He blasts her with Gigafire. Alice slices it effortlessly, leaving Niels stunned. He mocks him for being too power-drunk to train. She drops him with a brutal slap, wipes her hand, and warns him to never speak like that again. Struck but still arrogant, Niels warns Alice she won't get away with hitting a prince. Alice orders Martina to step up, but Martina's baffled by the attitude. He casts healing magic, instantly erasing Niels' facial wounds. Alice shows the proof, teasingly asking what she did to him. Niels snapped, warning her to stop playing games. Did she really think she'd escape punishment? Alice told him to just tell the truth. She mocks him, predicting he'll lie about Alice rejecting him, his failed magic attack, and how she saved his life. Niels snaps. He vows to drag them and Theo into despair. Alice marks his words and orders Sana and Martina to leave. Done there, she thought, Theo better wait, she's coming for him now. In the land of death, Theo crafts and hands out farming tools to the villagers. Thrilled to finally farm again, he told them to give it their all. La for more work, and she sends him to fix the village waterway. One more check on the YouTube narrator vibe. He asks Layla for more work. Aisha brings Theo his requested sandwiches, plus extra for the field workers. Theo thanked her. Soon, the dead land buzzed with life as everyone joined his reclamation. They kept developing the land until an alarm rang. A giant wolf was attacking. Theo suspects the giant wolf is Luna. Facing armed villagers, she begs them to lower their spears, insisting she's not here to fight. Theo gets closer and realizes it's definitely Luna. She's thrilled to finally see him, saying she's been waiting for his arrival. Smoke pops as she shifts from cat to woman, hugging him and asking how he's been. She notes he's stronger and more reliable after facing death. Theo credits his hardships and asks why she's here. Luna asks if he forgot her promise to bring a better gift this time. She touches her lips, startling Theo. He tells her to wait, wondering what she's doing in broad daylight. Luna moves in to speak, but Layla cuts her off, aiming her weapon and warning her to stay away from Theo. Luna's terrified by Layla's raw bloodlust. Layla screams that kissing Theo, a national treasure, is a crime worth 10,000 deaths. Luna's stunned by the judgment, but wonders, should she just steal the kiss anyway? Theo stops Layla, explaining he met Luna the Fenrir while she slept. Layla fumes, wondering if Luna is just a thieving wolf. Theo warns her not to misunderstand and demands Luna explain herself. Luna lowers her sword, admitting she had way too much fun teasing Layla. Luna tried to kiss Theo to upgrade her favor. Her forehead kiss only gave him a fraction of her power, because the full dose would make his heart explode and his body burst. Theo's stunned, but Luna explains his current favor must stabilize before he gets more, and the fastest way to transfer it is a kiss. Layla understood, but she still aimed her sword at Luna, demanding her last words. Theo orders Layla to sheath her blade and stop attacking Luna. Layla snaps back that Luna stained his skin, a direct insult to the captain. Luna paused, wondering if Layla was just jealous. Layla panics, shouting she's only protecting Theo. Luna teases her. If she doesn't want Luna stealing a kiss, she should just do it first. Theo's stunned while a blushing Layla questions Luna's nonsense. Luna tells Layla to grant Theo her favor. Layla doubts she can, but Luna confirms the power is already inside her. Layla's confused, so Luna clarifies that last strike was definitely superhuman. Rarely humans like Layla are divinely blessed and can share that favor with others. Layla lowers her sword to share her power with Theo. Luna agrees, but since they're human, they have to kiss to transfer it. She didn't care who started, just do it. A stunned Theo begs for a timeout, wondering how he ended up forced into a kiss. Luna asks if Theo's down to kiss Layla. He hesitates, refusing to be casual and insisting on respecting her feelings. Layla kneels and begs him to be gentle, leaning in for a kiss. Theo's stunned as Luna notes Layla's all in, but Aisha bursts in, horrified they're actually doing it. Theo blushes, telling Layla she doesn't need to force herself. Layla insists she isn't forcing it. If he's down, she wants his affection. Theo sees Layla trembling and gives in, admitting he's a total rookie. Layla doesn't mind, it's her first time too. Theo grabs her face and they kiss. His face burned, had the favor already transferred. He backed off and called to Layla, but no response. She passed out. Luna bursts out laughing. Layla's a delight and Luna's up next. Theo stunned. Is Luna next? She's down, but they'll wait for Layla's favor to stabilize to spare his body the strain. The order got mixed up, but she'd handle the rest. Theo wonders what she means as Luna summons her children. Theo's stunned as a pack of small wolves appears. Luna. Fenrir pups arrive seeking Theo's protection. He asks if they're Luna's, but she reveals they're her sister's kids. She tells Theo not to worry since he hasn't met her sister yet. Theo replies he isn't concerned about the. Luna asks Theo to take them in. She knew the risks. These strange creatures were nothing but trouble. Theo decided, gently touching the Fenrir pups. Luna adds they're faster than horses and can even drive away monsters. Theo cuts her off, vowing to welcome the entire group into his village. Luna questions his snap decision, but Theo refuses to abandon the cute pups. Luna beamed, thanking him for his kindness. She tells the kids Theo's in charge and orders them to show some gratitude. They all swarmed Theo at once, and he was genuinely happy. A week later, the Fenrir pups are fully settled, bonding with the villagers and helping with chores. Yasha brings them food and the pups swarmed her, ignoring her orders to calm down. Theo watched from afar, wishing he could swap with Aisha and dive into that fluffy paradise himself. He spots a pup behind him and it instantly bolts. Theo noticed the pup avoiding everyone and wondered if something was wrong. Luna appears, explaining they've always been this way and it's a major problem. Theo jumped as she suddenly appeared, rocking a brand new outfit. Luna prefers skimpy clothes, but Theo warns she can't walk the village like that. Luna realizes he just doesn't want her showing skin to others. Theo asks about the pup. Luna reveals it's the youngest. Her sister died from toxic air right after birth, leaving the pup motherless. She did everything to be a surrogate, but she could never replace the pup's real mother. Loveless and timid, Other became a loner and shut the world out. Luna starts to speak, but Theo cuts her off. He'll handle it. He'd do his best to befriend the pup. Luna's stunned, making Theo doubt himself. She shuts down his fears, calling him the hero she expected and welcoming him to the land. She grabs his face, silences his protest with a kiss, and leaves him a blushing mess. He recoils, asking what she's doing. Luna says she just forgot to update her favor earlier. Theo realized she'd planned this all along. Luna patted his head, entrusting the wolves to him. Theo agreed, unsure of his impact but vowing to give it his all. Theo asks the pup to play, but the wolf fled but kept watch from afar. If it were truly terrified, it would have bolted. It didn't. He closes in again, challenging the wolf to tag. He's it, and the wolf better run. The wolf stares, nods, and bolts with Theo in pursuit. Villagers watch as Theo realizes the wolf's insane speed. Even as a pup, he couldn't underestimate this Fenrir. He blocks the wolf with an earth wall, but just as he lunges to catch it, the wolf leaps from the wall, vaulting from house to house. Theo's not finished yet. They kept chasing, spamming walls for hours. An hour in, Theo's hit his limit. The wolf laughs from the terrace roof, tail wagging. Theo grins. The real game starts now. He kept chasing until the wolf slipped and nearly fell. He conjures a trampoline. He powered his legs and lunged forward. He caught the wolf and conjured a cushion for a safe landing. Theo finally caught the wolf, but the pup isn't happy. He asks for another round. Luna watches, noting the pup's taken a liking to Theo. Hearing this, Theo's confused, thinking they're just friends and nothing special happened. Luna smiles, agrees, and keeps her eyes on the duo. Theo names the wolf Silk and rides to the training ground, recalling he's already named the Fenrir pups for Luna. First Gorm, now the whole litter. He's hyped to step up as their godparent. He realized that same fire was spreading to everyone. Layla easily crushes the kids in sword training. They volunteered to be soldiers, so they better step up. She's strict, but Theo sees zero monster damage so far. Gorm, Layla, and the volunteers easily crushed the few enemies nearing the village. Theo wasn't taking chances. Seeing the team's hustle, he used his power to upgrade the weak gate into a massive protective wall. Exhausted, he wishes he'd finished the new weapon, but he's out of materials. Theo hits the bath to unwind, noting nothing beats a soak after a long day. Building the sauna was the right call, everyone loved it. He never expected Gorm to enjoy it most. Layla arrives and Theo immediately praises her hard training. She thanks him, but Theo senses trouble. Layla has been distant ever since she kissed him and fainted. She called his name, apologizing for being pathetic. Theo insisted she wasn't as she stepped closer. She's been training her mind since then to never faint again. She grabs his shoulders, demanding why he won't let her update her favor. Layla's rapid-fire lecture leaves a flustered Theo speechless. She'd done everything for him, now it was his turn to step up. He playfully begged her to go easy. Layla felt the spark, and they hit the bed. She wanted it over fast, blaming Theo for the mess. Theo's stunned as their kiss turns wild, sending him crashing onto the bed with Layla on top. She keeps kissing him, and Theo's soaking up her non-stop affection. Next morning, Layla trains the village while a sleepless Saad watches. Avoiding his gaze, she announces his training is hitting the next level. Saad decides to check the fields instead. Walking with Silk, Saad spots a man asking a woman for veggies. She hands them. The man's hyped, calling them juicy as he eats and offering to buy the whole stock. Saad hesitates, but the man grabs Silk, wondering if this Fenrir's fur is worth a fortune. Theo yanks Silk back, demanding to know what the guy thinks he's doing. Demanding his identity. Tan, alias Laurent from Bestia Company, says he's only after a Fenrir fur sample. Gorman Jack corner Laurent, calling him a trespasser. Laurent stood and protested, insisting he didn't deserve the name. He calls it a village in the land of death where life is impossible, yet seeing thriving fields there left him stunned and wondering how. He didn't even do a basic investigation. He's curious about the golem, sensing a master alchemist is nearby. Hooked by the village, he pushes forward. Laurent lunges, but Theo traps him in a cage, declaring he won't escape that easily. He was no threat, so they left him stuck there for now. Shocked by the sudden cage, Laurent admits he's never seen magic like this. He asks Theo how he did it while rubbing the bars, noting their high-quality texture. He called the place a utopia, a gold mine packed with treasures. He calls his gods, wondering if they're being too generous for his good behavior. Theo's baffled by Laurent's talk when news of a sudden attack hits. Theo spots 10 earth dragons closing in. They'll hit the village in 20 minutes. He's stunned this is happening right now. He brushed it off, but this many monsters is a massive, abnormal threat. Laurent thought he'd slip away, wondering if the dragons were really that mad he invaded their nest. Theo's baffled as Laurent reveals the earth dragons are his guests. Theo froze at Laurent's monsters, paralyzed by his next move. Earth dragons are wingless and flightless, but they're way tougher than any other breed. Theo's livid. Did Laurent really bring 10 monsters? What was he thinking? Laurent just claims he didn't see this coming. He only peeked into their nest, never expecting them to hunt him down like this. He grinned, calling it a legendary experience after playing tag with dragons. Theo stayed silent, realizing earth dragons are usually peaceful farm beasts, so why did they chase Laurent all this way? Meaning Laurent wasn't the only one responsible. He ordered Laurent to stay in the cage while they handled the earth dragons. Laurent tells him to wait. Meanwhile, Aisha orders all non-fighters into the underground shelters. Panic spread. Could they survive 10 earth dragons, or would they be forced to flee again? Aisha promises they're safe. Unlike the last village, this one has real defenses and elite, well-trained soldiers. She promised they'd decrush anything in their path. Weapons loaded, Theo watches the earth dragons close into cannon range. Luna arrives, sensing fun. She asks if Theo needs help. He accepts, and she's got his back. Theo orders her and Layla to wait. They ask why, and he. Too many variables to send their elites yet. They don't know how much the toxic air buffed those dragons. He orders the cannons fired first to see what happens. Blasting earth dragons with cannons ensures safety and spikes morale. Earth dragons are in range. Theo orders the intercept, open fire. The dragons take the hit without a single scratch. Theo's shocked. Just how tough are they? Panic erupts as the cannons fail, but the order is simple: keep firing. Theo hesitated to let Luna and Layla handle it, doubting they could crack the dragon's armor without a disaster. He claims the new weapon is their best shot at crushing the dragons. He lacked the high-grade magicite to power it, needing a dragon S instead. Laurent appears, claiming he has the draconic magicite Theo's looking for. Theo's stunned. How did he escape that cage? Laurent rushes Gorm, declaring his curiosity unstoppable and his hugs amazing. Theo asks about the draconic magicite, and Laurent reveals it. He offered the certificate as proof, but Theo didn't need it. One look told him everything. Theo wondered why Laurent was carrying that. Laurent planned to use it as leverage against the elves. Theo's confused, but Laurent assumed he knew about them since he's a local. Rumors claim a rich elven village hides deep in the land of death, but since it's unconfirmed, he targets a gold mine village instead. Theo understands. Laurent hands Theo the magicite, but only if he guards the village and trades exclusively with Bastia. Laurent offers time, but Theo accepts instantly. The magicite is their ticket out, and he welcomes the connection, even if he still doesn't trust Laurent. He knew it'd help the village. Laurent agreed, and Laurent shook hands, sealing the deal. Morin realized he underestimated Theo. He hands over the stone, and they build the magic cannon. Laurent eyes the magic cannon, itching to see its true power. Theo mans the magic cannon, skipping tests to deploy it immediately. Way stronger than a normal hit, he then, wait, I need to make sure I don't lose the should. It should hit way harder than normal, so he blasts the earth dragons, triggering a massive explosion and crushing pressure. It hit the villagers and Theo. He never expected this much power. They've intercepted the earth dragons. Everyone was overjoyed. Aisha hit the shelters, asking if anyone heard it. She reminds them she already called this win. At the gate, a new threat emerges. More monsters are closing in. Wyverns, and there are too many to count. Theo eyes Laurent, who swears he's innocent. Theo questions the wyverns' arrival and the chaos unfolding in the land of death. How could they win? The magic cannon was recharging, and regular fire couldn't stop a swarm this massive. Layla and Luna arrive, announcing it's finally their turn to lead the charge against the wyverns. Layla's rusty against dragons, and Luna's starving for experience. Theo's glad he kept them in reserve. He tells them to buy him time, warning them not to overdo it, adding, the magic cannon recharges in 10 minutes. He orders the cannons prepped. Laurent yells at Theo to check the wyvern swarm, bragging about playing tag with dragons while scrambling to escape. Layla and Luna tell him to relax, promising to wipe out every wyvern in 10 minutes flat. Wyverns attack. Theo warns these flying monsters are lethal. Armed with razor claws and fangs. Model thought fire breathers. He saw an S-ranker and a Fenrir on their side who, shredding through sky monsters and claiming they're the village's strongest. The duo easily crushed the wyverns, and Luna notes it was faster than she expected. Layla claimed one more wyvern kill than Luna. Luna stretches, noting Layla just loves picking fights. She's fine with Layla as the main wife, but a shocked Layla insists she and Theo aren't even a thing. Luna admits beating Layla's kill count is tough without her full power. Layla's baffled, but more wyverns suddenly swarm them from every side. Theo's terrified as Layla and Luna charge in, Luna shouting that these non-stop attacks are bizarre even for the land of death. Layla knew they were in trouble. The village was too far to reach in time. Theo readies the cannons and blasts the wyverns, but they dodged effortlessly. The magic cannon wasn't ready yet. Alice blitzes in to take charge, wiping the wyverns with a brave slash and leaving Theo, Luna, and Layla stunned. Alice steps up and Theo recognizes her technique. He's stunned. What's she doing here? Alice heard he was banished and figured he was crying from loneliness. Theo denies being sad but thanks Alice. She claims she's not worried, just pitying his hopeless state. Luna and Layla arrive, wondering what's going on. Layla recognizes Alice, and the shock is mutual. Layla grabs her sword, thanks Alice, and starts stripping, begging Theo to punish her failure while he watches in total shock. Layla offers her body to atone for the failed wyvern kill, but Theo insists she helped enough and tells her to get dressed. Luna reminds Theo how hard she fought and demands a reward. Aisha hugs a confused Theo, thanking him for another rescue. Stunned, Alice points out 2 more girls she doesn't recognize. She looks around and spots a massive crowd, practically a village. She collapses mid-step, sobbing that her perfect plan is ruined while a baffled Theo watches on. At the hot springs, Martina scrubs Sana's back while Alice bathes, cherishing her simple, happy life with Theo. Martina mocks Alice's whining, but Sana shuts her up and says, Alice traveled all this way just to get her hopes crushed and never even spoke to Theo. They couldn't believe a luxury bath existed in the land of death. Alice says autocraft makes this easy for Theo. Sana shouts that the day's biggest surprise. Theo actually received a gift. Alice finally spills. Theo was born with that gift and told her when they were kids. Everyone knows by now, and she's glad the secret's finally out. Layla arrives, stunned. Alice already knows Theo's secret. Alice asks if Layla knew, but Sana clarifies it's a yukata. Soon after, Theo arrives, praises the trio's look, and tells them he's glad they met. They ask if he's finished collecting the dragons. Theo confirms. Staring at the 5 dragon corpses, Alice calls it a massive hall, Theo's true land of death. Theo admits the fight was brutal and isn't sure if he should even celebrate. He asks about the bath and Alice says it was great. Reaching out, she realizes how tall he's grown and adds, 2 years since she saw him last, and she expected him to look way more miserable. He looked full of life. Theo questioned her view, admitting he was anxious after his banishment, but now he knows staying was the right call. Alice says he looks better than in the capital. Theo's glad. He adds she's gotten cuter, making Layla blush and call it weird. She calls him arrogant, warning him not to get cocky just because he's taller. Theo shrugs, saying he's just being honest. Sana touches Alice's shoulder, telling Theo not to worry, she's just being bashful. Sana reveals Alice rushed to save Theo the second he was banished, proving her feelings. Alice muzzles her instantly, dying of embarrassment. Sana tells Alice to wait and make Theo listen, citing their recent struggles, but Alice is totally baffled. Sana reveals Alice punched Niels, shocking Theo. Sana knew Alice liked him, but this was too far. Theo warns Alice her reckless actions have consequences. Alice snapped. Niels mocked Theo, and she was furious. Everyone feared her, but Theo grabbed Alice's hand, thanking her for defending him. He was truly happy. Alice froze. Why did he suddenly grab her hand? Hannah and Martina hype Alice up, urging her to kiss Theo and make up. Alice approaches, leaving Theo baffled, but Laurent cuts in, demanding their attention before they can act. Theo sees Laurent and snaps what happened. He grabs him for answers. Laurent explains the villagers are forcing him to repent for bringing the earth dragon while tied up. He makes an offer, sell the dragon materials wholesale to the Bestia company. Alice steps in, warning Laurent that a merchant should know dragon parts are worth a fortune. She explains dragon scales make the toughest armor, claws shred shields, and their blood is a miracle cure. Laurent nods, but mid-sentence, a mechanism drops from his coat. He prices the dragon and Alice is stunned. It's mansion money, but still not enough. Theo then reveals he's only selling half. Alice is stunned he's selling, but Theo's got more dragon loot than he can use. Laurent wants several at that price. Theo agrees, offering the whole lot for the price of one. Theo takes the rest of the value and materials. Laurent's stunned, trade is dead and money's worthless. Is Theo really just a kid? He agreed, pushing for immediate trade talks. Theo joined in, demanding a massive iron shipment. Suddenly, Alice's stomach growls. Embarrassed, she admits she skipped lunch, but Theo knows she's been through hell to get here. He was hungry and the timing was perfect. Laurent wondered what was ready. Theo invited him, insisting everyone celebrate their dragon victory. The whole village gathered to drink and celebrate their victory. Aisha and Layla command the room, announcing the moment everyone's been waiting for, the banquet's main course. It was dragon meat. The villagers cheer, finally getting the moment they've waited for. One man never dreamed he'd actually taste dragon meat. Theo and the crew bit in. It's incredible, especially. Stuck on veggies since arriving, this tasted like absolute heaven. Alice steps up, questioning if they're really eating dragon meat. Toxic air tainted the dragons, making them poisonous to eat. Theo purges the meat's toxins with his divine hoe. Alice jokes that only he'd think to fix dinner by waving a farm tool. Theo drags her to lunch, but she snaps that he doesn't need to pull. She hesitates, bites, and boom, a rich flavor explosion hits her. She loved it tender, delicious, and cooked perfectly. Leo reveals Layla's trained maid team made it. Alice watches in confusion as Layla gives Aisha a 95 and the green light to serve. As Aisha thanks her non-stop, Theo warns they're stronger than regular soldiers. And the wolf kids, Laurent and Lola, were all having a blast. Mid-celebration, Alice asks Theo why he looks so worried. She warns him to eat more or he'll never grow. She hand-feeds him, but Theo protests, insisting he can eat alone. Layla glares at Alice, warning her to sleep now or she'll never grow. One line out, it doesn't mean one sentence, just one line of text. Alice snaps at being bobbied. Layla ignores her to offer Theo dragon meat, leaving Alice F. She pulls Theo close, telling Layla to stop interrupting their conversation. Layla pulls Theo close instead, vowing to drive off the pests swarming him and adding that his love was already hers. Alice screams shameless, but it's a misunderstanding. Theo explains the favor and she finally starts to understand. She understood Layla's motives but couldn't accept them, and she was livid. Theo did the same for Luna. Suddenly, she says she's down for him to do it for her too. Theo stunned as Layla steps in, asking if she's really expected to allow this for Alice. Alice sensed a challenge, but Layla claimed fighting her was like a child versus an adult. Alice wondered if Layla was gracefully admitting defeat. They bickered over who was more mature until Theo snapped and shut them up. On the city walls, a guard craves dragon meat, while Jack orders everyone to stay alert. Aisha arrives with dragon meat to thank everyone for their hard work. Guards love the food, convinced a goddess had descended. Aisha tells Jack to eat while it's hot, but he stays on guard and saves his meal for later. Sensing a threat, he panicked and ordered Alice to Theo. Hearing this, Alice sprints to Theo. Monsters are closing in and they're in trouble again. Theo panicked, bracing for a monster horde, but Aisha hesitated. It's only one. Theo finally relaxes as he notes it's way easier than a dragon army. Aisha hesitates, then reveals the monster is mountain-sized. Theo freezes as Aisha reveals a Calamity-class monster is closing in. Theo uses his autograph to spawn a whiteboard and marker for Sana and Martina. Martina's stunned as ink flows without a dip, and it even erases. To her, it's pure magic. Theo cuts the chatter and starts the meeting. Sana agrees, warning that the Calamity-class adamant turtle is closing in and hits the village by tomorrow afternoon. It's a giant turtle, tough as adamant. Cannons and swords are useless against this mountain-like beast that heals instantly. She draws a surprisingly cute turtle, warning that even Luna, Layla, Alice, and the magic cannon can't leave a scratch. The turtle's massive mana blast is their only opening to strike. Everyone's admiring the art when Sana suddenly wipes it clean. Theo asks her to continue, but she sketches the plan. The turtle's wide open mid-attack, so blast the magic cannon straight down its throat. She destroy it from within, and even this monster falls. Alice notes Sana loves cute things, but her mercenary life made her immune to gore. Theo nods, wondering if they'll have to bait the beast into attacking. Sana agrees, but warns the cannon might fail. Evacuate the village now before the turtle's blast wipes them out. Theo nods, sending the maids to evacuate while soldiers gear up for defense. Everyone gears up while Theo traps the turtle. He uses his inventory to hollow the ground into a spiked pitfall, ensuring no escape. Next, he'd fortify the walls and build a massive rampart and village gate. Finished, he collapses from exhaustion. He wakes up the next morning, realizing he'd passed out from overexertion. Waking up shocked on Alice's lap, he asks why. She explains the hard ground would have left him sore and she'd use her hard-won privilege from Layla to do at least that much. She told him to rest, the trap was already set. He refused, bound by his duty as the land's lord. Alice yanks him back onto her lap, ordering him to rest. She warned him to stop overworking before it literally killed him. Theo's shaken, remembering he already died once from overwork. Alice thanks Theo for always having her back. He's confused, but she reminds him she's held the hero's power since age 8. Hero powers choose compatibility, not status. She was shocked to be picked, a simple diner girl turned legendary hero. Her life flipped the second she was summoned to the castle. At 8, her knight warned she couldn't even beat a goblin, reminding her that as the hero, she must get stronger for the kingdom. She explains that anyone with hero powers is summoned to the castle for special training. Awakened kids were forced to master blades, magic, and war. She says it wasn't training, but brainwashing to create living weapons. She remembers overhearing 2 kids in the castle plotting to stay on her good side just to use her hero status later. Face bandaged, she wondered if they forgot her hero-level hearing. She sat outside, realizing everyone there was trash for treating heroes like her as nothing but tools. Since arriving at the castle, no one's called her by name. She knew they didn't see a human, only a tool labeled hero. She remembered her dad's shop, where non-stop orders left her totally overwhelmed. She burst into tears, begging to go home. Back in the present, Alice reveals Theo was the one who saved her through everything, as he'd approached her back then, asking if she was okay. She said, he says she was too shy to admit it, but she's truly grateful. She only stayed herself thanks to him. Theo shrugs it off, admitting she's his only friend. She retorts that while she mastered the sword, he turned loneliness into an art form. Theo insists he wasn't lonely with his mom and Garland. Alice makes a suggestion before the turtle fight, and she brings up last night's favor, asking why he didn't try it with her. Theo's stunned, and did she even know how the favor transferred? Alice knew, warning him not to get any weird ideas. She's only helping because she'd feel guilty letting an innocent guy die for her. She tilts her head, wondering if he's rejecting her. Theo denies it, saying he thought she wasn't interested, but she grabbed his face, silenced him, and kissed him. Teeth clashed, then they pulled. They hesitate, but she tries again, and they finally lock lips. Alice turns beet red, calling Theo a pervert for blushing at a kiss, while he thinks she looks like a boiled octopus. Alice looks away, telling him not to get the wrong idea. She only did it to transfer a favor. Theo simply nods. He thanked her for everything. Alice admits it was a lie, leans in. She'd always dreamed of sharing this moment with him. Theo blushed as Alice stood up, declaring they were done. It continues after the fight. Theo's baffled. Alice leans in close, warning him to survive or she'll be furious. Theo's confident they're taking the win. Everyone else lined up at the heavy village gate. Layla and Alice credit Theo for their safety, but he's already focused on the Calamity-class threat, demanding an update on Martina's magic cannon upgrade. Martina's struggling to draw the circuit fast enough. She knows she needs an amplifier and regulator in series, but her hands can't keep up. Theo asks about the magic cannon upgrade. She hesitates, then says it's going well. She confirms the cannon's range, firepower, and reload speed are all upgraded as requested. She even tweaked it so Theo can slot more magicite, boosting efficiency to total overkill. Theo's impressed, but Martina warns the massive power could overload and explode, a deadly double-edged sword. He thanked her anyway, calling the magic cannon vital for the next battle. Visibly worried, Martina insists it's no trouble. She trembles and bolts. Theo just wanted to be friends, but she keeps dodging him. Luna clings to Theo, teasing him for being so popular. Theo denies it, claiming they're just being nice, but Luna knows the truth. He's totally clueless. She asks if he's sure he doesn't need her. Theo confirms Layla warned him she's not at full strength. Layla confirms if Luna unleashes her divine power, a dangerous enemy will find them. Theo agrees, tasking Luna to protect the villagers since only she can. Luna is left wondering why. Surprised by his plan, she calls him intriguing as they face a massive house on wheels. Theo warned her the shelter wouldn't stop the turtle, so he built a mobile house. If the turtle attacks or the walls fall, Luna must drag the house to safety. She agrees, knowing she's the only one strong enough. She vowed to protect the village. Theo thanked her, and noon struck. The turtle was due. Leo's heart raced as Sana confirmed the worst. They're facing a Calamity-class monster. Theo wonders why the turtle's attacking, but Sana says it only strikes when provoked. She's certain Martina found something. Martina examines Theo's kills and realizes something is wrong with these vipers. Mind control traces cover everyone. Theo, stunned, is someone targeting the village, but then massive mana and rare items. Only someone with royal-level wealth could pull this off. Brainwashing the turtle took massive resources, so Sana doubted they'd send more monsters. Theo knew this was the final boss fight. Past memories stilled his heart. He knew it was the wrong time to be this calm. But he's actually hyped. The turtle closes in, and Theo knows they have to immobilize it first. The turtle hits Theo's trap, plunging into the pit. Plan successful, Leo orders the fire cannons to open fire. They all struck, but the turtle didn't flinch. Theo knew if they kept firing, the trapped turtle would blast mana from its mouth. They'd blast the magic cannon down its throat and destroy it from within. The turtle crawls out of the pit, and Sana yells a warning. He thought the pitfall would hold it longer. That wasn't his only move. Now he's counting on Alice and Layla. Layla warns Alice not to be a liability, but Alice wonders who she thinks she's talking to. The duo charges the turtle, sinking their blades too. They blast the turtle with their Silver Brave Deathblade / combo. They rip it open, and Layla calls it the grave Theo prepared. Alice orders the turtle to stay inside and behave. Theo watches. The turtle fell for the trap. Leo grins, ordering everyone to reload and keep firing. They keep blasting the turtle when it opens wide and blasts them with a beam. Sana warns Theo the turtle's about to strike. Theo braced as the turtle's mouth glowed and aimed down. He's thrown off, he can't target the mouth anymore, and Layla and Alice are still trapped inside. Was the turtle targeting Layla and Alice instead of the cannons? Alice says there's only one way. She lunges at the turtle and slashes upward. She yanked its head up, demanding it look at her. Theo sees the turtle's open mouth, but Alice is right in the line of fire. Layla yanked her away and she vanished. Alice praises Layla's skill, but Layla admits she thought Alice was on a suicide mission. Theo seizes his chance and blasts the magic cannon. The blast shot right into the turtle's mouth. The turtle goes silent, then its head suddenly explodes, shocking everyone. The turtle's down, victory is theirs. Sana's stunned, she can't believe they actually took down a Calamity-class monster. Theo credits the win to her plan, but she insists it was a total team effort. Theo looks for Layla and Alice. Sana points to a distant rock. They're right there, as Theo. Theo looks over and sees them both waving. He wonders how they got there. Alice barely saw it. Layla is just too fast. The turtle's eyes snap open. Theo's stunned. The turtle stands up after tanking a direct magic cannon blast. Still alive, everyone's stunned. The turtle roars and bursts out of the trap. They braced for a strike. Theo knew it was on guard and wouldn't bite again, meaning its next move would be to rams them with its massive body. His fortress was strong, but he knew it wouldn't last forever. The soldiers fall and the village is wiped out. What's his next move? He knows holding back won't solve anything. He spots something, summons his wolves through a portal, and asks for a favor. He writes a letter asking them to deliver it to Luna and Aisha. They agree, so Theo tells Silk to take him under the turtle. Sana's confused, but Theo orders her to take command. He leaps off the wall with Silk. Sana's stunned by his sudden move, but she sensed he was actually about to pull it off. She finally saw why Alice fell for Theo. Alice lunges with a brave thrust. Layla's quick draw unleashes a silver flash slash. Things go south fast as the turtle escapes the pit. Alice is annoyed the turtle's ignoring them, but Layla says their hits are just mosquito bites. Time to combine attacks. Enraged, it lunges, charging mana to blow itself and everyone else sky high. Layla spots the strategy. The turtle is using its tankiness and healing to shield its mouth from the magic cannon, leaving Alice fuming. She complained the smart turtle was too tough, but Layla snapped, telling her to stop being careless and focus. Layla hauls Alice away to safety, but Alice doubts they'll make it in time. Theo yells, "Get down," and summons a massive spear, driving it straight into the turtle's chin, exploding inside its own mouth. Theo arrives with Silk and asks if they're okay. Stunned, they ask why Theo's on the front line. It's way too dangerous. Theo warns the adamant turtle won't open up anymore, making the magic cannon useless. But one way to win remained, and his hunch was right. He told them to check the turtle's belly. Cracks from the magic cannon scar its shell. Theo yells they need one massive strike on that weak spot to finish it. Alice readies her sword, but Theo stops her. Even their strongest attacker can't break that spot. So he devised a new plan. He explains the plan. Layla's intrigued but worried. Theo's life is on the line. Alice warns they're outnumbered, but Theo's got another ally ready to help. Luna finally arrives, apologizing. She already evacuated the villagers and left them with Gorm, she says. She'd read the letter and loved Theo's intriguing idea. Theo thanked her for coming. Layla doubts Luna's power, but Luna admits she's too weak to fight alone, so she brought Sana for backup. Sana tells Luna to stop being rough. Theo says it's fine, making Sana wonder if he's being rough too. Alice notes they have 3 of 4 roles filled and asks who will take the final spot. Theo tells her not to worry, he's already handled everything, and it's time to launch the final plan. Aisha arrives with a wolf cub, apologizing for the wait and delivering the wyvern's magicite shards. Everyone's confused why Aisha didn't flee, but she reveals it was Theo's request. She asks if they've heard Theo's plan. Martina agrees they'll charge the magic cannon with shards and blast the turtle, but she warns that max power risks an explosion, forcing her to throttle every shot. Jack feared an explosion and took charge as the village's top gunner. Martina hands him the mechanism, but he's totally stumped and admits he's useless. Martina panicked. This magic cannon was nothing like the regular ones Jack knew. She's handling it alone, risking everything to live up to Theo's expectations. Theo hits the shell. Teamwork and timing are everything. He trusts everyone involved. Luna strikes, stalling the turtle on Theo's orders, but it's a struggle. Alice scans for the signal. They can't hold out forever. Tease Dallas, asking if she's tired yet. Alice and Layla trade barbs over who's tougher, while Luna wonders if the turtle even sees them as a threat. Sana is stunned they're bickering in front. Theo's impressed by their teamwork, but that magic cannon is still his biggest worry. He gave Martina the dangerous job. Now he can only trust her and wait. Aisha stops Martina, claiming she knows exactly how to fire the magic cannon. Everyone is stunned, but Aisha insists she can run it. Jack snaps, demanding to know how. Aisha admits she's always watched Theo, not as a stalker, but strictly out of duty as his maid. She sticks close, revealing she mastered the magic cannon just by watching him build it and practicing. The crowd was baffled, doubting she could master the machine, but Martina knew Aisha was a beast as she. She knew zero magic, yet mastered the magic cannon just by watching. Jack warns it's too risky. Aisha tells Martina to focus on power while she handles the firing. Martina agrees. Jack agrees. Aisha's tired of being protected while the team risks their lives against goblins and dragons. She's done hiding, she wants to fight. As a maid, she'll support Theo's team from the rear however she can. Martina respects her resolve and vows to keep Aisha safe. Jack agrees. They'd all be her shield if the cannon explodes. Aisha thanks the crew and mans the cannon while Martina channels mana. With everything ready, Jack signals the front line. The cannon fires the signal. Theo orders everyone to unleash everything. Luna shifts into Fenrir, Sana hops on, and they prep a synchronized strike on a single spot. Everyone powers up. Alice hits overclock while Layla readies her ultimate blade. Wielding a shining silver lotus, she vowed to pave Theo's way. Luna and Sana unleash Crescent Roaring Slash while Alice unleashes her ultimate slash just as the cannon blasts the target. A massive hit wrecks the turtle. They crush the foreleg and the impact hits like the sky is falling. He thanks the team, then unleashes his inventory to crush the enemy under its own weight and charges, forming a massive steel tower. It pierces the cracked shell, forcing a total collapse. Everyone cheered. They'd actually won. Theo finally sees. Back in Fernia, Neil sips his drink, gloating that Theo and Alice are drowning in despair. He burned a fortune in magic items for that mind control spell, but he believed. It was worth it. He controlled the turtle and the village was doomed. He wondered how Theo reclaimed the land of death, remembering the spy he sent to watch him suffer. Theo wasn't just surviving, he'd already built a farm and an entire village. Niels contacted the spy through the orb, and the report finally arrived. He demanded answers, what happened to Theo and how the village fell. The spy reports Theo crushed the turtle. Niels couldn't believe it. That turtle is a calamity-class beast. Even after sending dragons and wyverns to weaken it, the spy insisted the news was real. Niels explodes, calling the spy a liar and screaming about the sacred mana and rare items he dumped into this plan. The spy had no idea what was happening. Niels smashes the orb, branding Theo a talentless failure forsaken by the goddess. Cooling down, he realized Alice and Layla helped Theo. He didn't do it alone. Exactly what he'd expect from the talentless. Niels won't stop until he sends Theo to his doom. Theo wakes up in bed, wondering if it's morning. It's still night. He hops out of bed and heads outside to check the turtle. Theo sees the turtle's head in the cheering crowd. Relief hits. The beast is finally dead. He's spotted and the crowd swarms him, asking if he's all right. Someone hands him food as Alice rushes in, frantically checking for injuries. Theo says he's fine, but admits he's feeling dizzy. Alice grabs him, warning him not to overdo it while he's weak. Theo apologizes. The kiss hit them, radiating warmth and gratitude. Theo credits her for the win, admitting he couldn't have done it without her hero power. He'd analyzed it before the fight and knew that power was massive. Mastering divine energy let him forge the giant steel tower. Alice is glad she helped, and as Theo thanks her, she insists he carried the battle. She'd do it again just like she promised. She fixes her hair, but her blushing ears give her away. She's embarrassed. Finding it cute, Alice invites him to her room and they head in together, and Theo thanks her for letting him in. She pulled him close, held him tight, and told him he wasn't leaving her room today. Theo agrees and they kiss. Better than last time. Is the hero's learning ability finally kicking in? Alice repeatedly confesses her love, leaving Theo stunned. She kept pushing until he snapped and grabbed her face, but she warned him to back off. Her cute, submissive side made him want more. He pushed for another kiss, but as she begged him to stop, suddenly he's warped to the god realm. He spots Vesta looking annoyed, apologizing for the interruption. Theo feared the kiss was fatal, but Vesta confirms he's alive. Relieved, he realizes a kiss shouldn't be enough to kill him. Vesta nearly died. He ignored Luna's warning and took too much divine favor, overloading his human body. Theo thanks the goddess for saving him again. Vesta's been watching him closely, and he didn't disappoint. He saved villagers from goblins, crushed dragons and wyverns, and even toppled the giant turtle. She tells him he made her proud, clearly in a great mood. Theo thanked her, but insisted he only won thanks to everyone's help. A week after the turtle's defeat, monster attacks stopped and peace finally returned. Two things changed: Lawrence back with the goods, honoring the contract. First outside contact made. Realizing Loran didn't bring the dragons, the village made peace and became his closest allies. Laurent asks for a domain name or he'll list it as Land of Death in the contract. Theo reveals they've already picked one. Laurent asked for a name last week, but the land was nameless. Now he's racking his brain to find one. Luna reveals the land's legend, a glorious, envied realm where great kings once gathered, known as Regalia, the land of kings. Luna calls the city Arca, named after Alcadia, the word for utopia. Back in the present, Laurent agrees to register the domain as Regalia and the village as Arca. Loran questions the nearby grass. Theo says it's rice ripe for harvest today, but Laurent has never seen this kind of grass. Theo understood the reaction. Rice in this world was basically inedible. He only found rice once in this world, cooking it at the castle. Dry and crumbly, it sucked his mouth dry and tasted awful. Obsessed after winning gold, he begged the goddess to grant him Japanese rice. He scored Yunamakashi Hikari, Japan's elite A-rank rice. He was starving, he hadn't tasted rice in 13 years. He orders a fast harvest to properly host their guest. Layla nods, unleashing a silver flash that mows down the rice in one strike. Theo stunned, he thought he'd need a steam harvester, but Leela is perfect for the job. He remembered the long rice prep process, but his autograph made it effortless. Time to cook and eat, this power is way too convenient. He serves the rice and tells everyone to try it. The others are baffled by its look, and some say it's incredibly sticky. Theo saw the doubt but insisted it tasted fine. Alice tried it and soon everyone followed. It's delicious. Theo loves the springy, fluffy texture. It gets better with every chew. Just as his report promised, the gentle sweetness was pure comfort. Laurent says the recording will sell big and become Archive Village's new specialty. Luna grabs Theo's face, calling his work impressive. Theo credits the seeds and soil, but Luna pats his head and tells him to stop being humble. Even the pickiest elves would crave it. Hearing elves, Laurent questions Luna's connection. She confirms it, revealing an elven village hidden in the land of death. Theo never knew elves lived nearby, and now he wants an alliance. Laurent asks to go, but Luna shuts him down. Elves are hostile and hate humans like him. She hadn't visited in a century. The village was choked by toxic air, but she hoped they survived. Theo asks Luna for a favor, take him to the elven village. Reluctant to refuse, she still asks for his reason. Theo reveals he's a local and offers to purify the toxic air to help. Luna gladly agreed to light him, and Theo thanked her. Luna warns of a fight and offers backup, but Theo tells her not to go overboard, and suggested heading to the elven village. After their rice feast, Theo heads to Elwyn village with Luna leading the way. Alice snaps, demanding to go too and calling them out for ditching her. Sana drags Alice back to their demon quest, but the hero refuses to leave Theo. Theo brings Layla, while Alice insists on coming too. She's not letting him visit a land of beautiful elves alone. Layla tells Alice not to worry, she'll handle Theo day and night. Alice snaps, warning Layla to back off and begging Sana for release. Sana keeps dragging her, admitting separation hurts but forcing Alice to endure it. Dragged away, Alice warns Theo he'd better make it up to her. Theo smiles and wishes Riley luck at work. Luna says it's time to hit the elven village, and Theo's in. Luna shifts into Fenrir, Theo and Layla mounting her head. Luna asks if they're comfy. Theo agrees, loving the feel of the fluffy fur. It smelled amazing and felt better than any bed. Layla passed out the second she hit it. The village vanishes, Theo stunned by Luna's speed, but she tells him to relax. It's a 2-hour ride to the elven village, so enjoy the view. Theo agreed, realizing he'd forgotten how desolate this land truly was. He plans to purge this toxic air someday. Luna accepts, asking him to restore the land to its former life. Theo agrees, vowing to turn it into a sea of green. 2 hours later, they hit the forest edge. Luna reveals the elf village is hidden inside. Theo stunned, how is this lush green sea called the land of death? Luna explains the world trees, divine power shields the forest from the toxic air. The power's fading. A century ago, this forest was way more vibrant. Theo rushes forward, but a warning arrow stops him cold. Layla draws her blade, pulling him back, as a treetop archer orders them to leave. Calling them filthy humans, driven by nothing but greed. Theo told her to wait, insisting they weren't a threat and just wanted to talk. The elf lunges, slashing her sword at him. Layla blocks the strike, fuming. You really aiming for Theo? She warns of the consequences, but the elf retorts that humans face the same fate. Luna shouts, ordering them both to sheathe their swords. She greets the elf after ages. Alina freezes, sensing a divine aura. Is this really Luna? Luna tells Alina to lead them to the chief for a talk. Alina lets them in. Theo thanks her, casually dropping her name. Alina glares, warning him to drop the casual tone. Luna says Theo's in, but she's expecting trouble. Theo's mission: purify the toxic air and befriend the elves. The odds were grim, but he's going all in. Elena leads the elves as they escort the group to their village, seemingly. She was the top rank in ice gold to humans. Theo wondered if they'd ever be friends. They reach Ilfa and Theo's floored. It's nothing like a human town, just treehouses and elves living in total harmony with nature. Elena says the chief knows, follow her. Leo's chest tightened. Was it the toxic air? Concerned elves questioned the humans' arrival, their intense stares burning into Theo. He knew elves hated humans, but this welcome is brutal. They've clearly been burned before, making him second-guess meeting their chief. What the chief would say once they reached his house. Theo hoped the chief would listen to reason. Elena swings the gate open, announcing her guests. Theo enters and meets the village chief, Anna Rose. Theo greets Anna Rose with respect, while a stunned Luna can't believe she's the chief. Toxic air killed Anna's father 10 years ago, forcing her to take his place. Luna apologizes for the trauma, but Anna brushes it off, demanding to know why Luna really came to the village. They talked it out, and Anna asked Theo to team up as fellow residents. They asked why he built a village in the land of death. Theo hesitated, remembering Luna's warning, don't tell the elves he's a prince. They despised authority, especially royalty. He hides his identity to keep things smooth, but knows they'll never be true friends. Theo reveals he's Fornia's third prince, sent by his father to reclaim the land of death. Theo's royal reveal shocks the elves. He's reclaiming the land, but Elena draws her blade, asking if he'll steal their home too. Anna stops her, refusing to let the guest be harmed, but Elena warns they can't repeat the past. Elena glares, but Anna smiles and tells her to stop asking if she understands. Elena bolts, and annoyed Anna calls her a brat, then asks Theo why Fornia is suddenly reclaiming the land. Theo admits his father's orders were a lie. Fornia has no interest in reclaiming the land. Exiled as a failure, forsaken by the goddess. He's dead serious about making this a place where everyone can live happily. He asked fellow resident Anna for help. Anna orders her guards to leave, but they hesitate. Who will protect her from the humans? She insists it's an order. The guards exit, leaving Theo wondering what Anna's planning. Anna steps up and bows for Elena's rudeness. Theo's stunned. He says it's fine and tells her to stop bowing. Anna dismissed the guards. Her secret wasn't for her people to hear. She explains the village's tragedy and why elves hate humans so much. It all started 20 years ago while they lived by the world tree. Toxic air is dropping the elves, forcing them to flee. Clueless about the outside world, they turn to humans for help. Luna's stunned. Do elves actually share human blood? Anna explains they befriended a stranded adventurer while planning their move. After healing his wounds, they stayed in touch and eventually asked him to help them migrate to the Theurn forest. Turns out it was all a human trap. Theo's reeling, but Anna isn't done. Armed humans were already waiting at the elves' migration site. She reveals they're slave traders hunting elves for a massive payday. The elves fought their way out, but Anna was captured after a careless mistake while guarding the rear. Her sister saved her just in time, leaving her mostly unharmed. The incident made the villagers hate humans, especially her sister. Theo felt terrible, calling the news absolutely awful. Anna knows good humans exist, but the other elves disagree. Theo vows to take his time and win them over. Anna thinks it's impossible, but Theo's fired up and ready to give it everything. Anna stifles a laugh, but Luna loses it, ruffling Theo's hair. Luna calls Theo intriguing and asks Anna if she'll grant him a favor, believing he's the key to changing the village. Anna admitted it. Theo was different. She sighs and relents. Luna vouched for him, so Theo stays. Theo thanks Anna and asks to explore the village. She agrees, and Layla tags along. Theo explored the massive village, big enough for 100 people. He overhears elves gossiping. Some accept the humans as Luna's friends, but others want them gone. Under their sharp stares, Theo realizes the suffocation isn't just the vibe, the air itself is toxic. Luna warned him the world tree is barely holding back the toxic air. It won't last, they need to act fast. Theo spots an elf girl carrying fruit, but she suddenly collapses. Theo rushes to check on her, but Elena blocks him. She draws her sword, warning him to stay back. Her sister let him stay, but he shouldn't push his luck. Layla steps in as Elena threatens Theo again, but Theo orders her to stand down. They're here to befriend the elves and can't betray Anna's trust. Layla sheathes her blade. Theo warns Elena the girl's in bad shape and offers to brew a cure. Elena mocked his doctor act, warning he'd regret playing pretend once he saw how serious things really were. She leads him to a building full of bedridden elves, calling it the cruel fate of those trapped by humans. The patients are suffering. Theo suspects an epidemic. Theo examines an elf girl as her mother questions him. Her lumina root reveals noxious air poisoning, too complex for a simple cure. He knew the toxic air was a death sentence, and the whole world knew it. The elf mother screams at Theo to stay away from her daughter. He backs off silently to avoid more panic, searching for a way to help. He recognized those dark patterns from wyvern meat and used the same method. He apologized to the elf mother and took back his words. He told her to move, drawing the divine foil. The elf mother stunned as Alina screams, demanding to know what Theo's doing. Elves lunge to stop him, but Theo ignores them, tapping the girl with his foil. A flash of light erupts, curing her instantly. The girl smiles, pain-free, stunning the crowd. Alina and the elves are shocked Theo cured the toxic air. Layla teases Alina about him as the mother and daughter offer their thanks. The girl thanks him, and Theo's just glad she's better. The foil worked way better than he expected. Realizing he could save everyone, he asked to examine and heal the other victims. That night, Layla praises Theo's work. He's just glad everyone's cured and the elves are finally opening up. Solid progress, they'll pick it up tomorrow. Alina thanks Theo for curing the village, but warns him not to get the wrong idea. He'd only treated the symptoms, ignoring the toxic air that was the real source. She explains the world tree uses divine power to shield the village from toxic air. It was weakening too, right as she moved to continue. Theo cuts in, he'll just heal the world tree too. Reaching the world tree, Theo's stunned by its massive size. He touched it, sensing the same aura as the goddess and Luna. Was this divine power? Luna gripped Theo's shoulders, sensing his divine power had faded since they last met. Theo's hyped to restore its power. He spots dark, toxic stains and knows cleansing them will fix everything. He pulls out the divine hoe, finally cleansing the world tree. Hyped, he tells them to hit the other spots and do the same. He kept pushing but hit his limit fast. It's endless, size isn't the only issue. Dark patterns keep respawning on parts he already cleansed. Alina thanks Theo but calls his work futile. When he asks why, she reveals they've already tried surgery and every other method with no luck. The droid says the only cure is destroying the toxic air source. She thanked Theo for yesterday, but warned he's way out of his leg. She told him to quit, but Theo was already scaling the world tree. She asks his plan, and Theo's off to find the source of the toxic air. He thanked her for the intel. Alina's annoyed. Who is this guy? Luna calls Theo fascinating. Alina spots Luna snacking and asks what she's eating. Luna explains Theo's crew made the onigiri, and Layla's handing them out as a peace offering. She offers Alina a taste. Alina still refuses human food. Luna thought yesterday changed things, but she was dead wrong. Luna bets Alina, if Theo heals the world tree and transforms the village, Alina eats the onigiri. Alina expects nothing from Theo since no human can cure this, but if he pulls off a miracle, she'll grant his every wish. Layla bolted, vowing to hold Alina to her word, body and soul. Don't you dare forget what you promised. Theo prowled the village, hunting the toxic air's source. He spent all night scouring the tree, but found nothing. He spots Lumina and Lyra, the girls he cured, resting by a small temple. Theo greets them, relieved Lumina's recovering. He asks why they're here, and Lyra reveals they're praying to the world tree. It's sacred to the elves, protecting them from toxic air as they pray for eternal peace. Lumina's here to talk to the world tree. Lyra calls it nonsense that'll confuse Theo, but Lumina insists she can hear its voice. Theo's curious, but Lyra brushes it off, saying Lumina's grandma just told myths about the world tree having a soul and speaking. She said Lumina's faith in the stories made her imagine the tree's voice. Lumina couldn't understand the world tree, but she swore a voice was calling from above. Intrigued, Theo heads over to investigate. He thanks Lumina and trusts her. Overjoyed, she hugs her big brother. Then they leave, so Theo uses the world tree to track the toxic air source. Lumina hugs Theo, sensing his intrigue. He confirms he's investigating the mysterious voice she heard from the world tree's peak. Luna's curious too. Elders say the world tree has a soul. They head up, but the tree's massive. Theo thinks they'll need a permit for stairs. Luna says it's fine and suddenly hoists him up. Confused, he's warned not to bite his tongue, and Theo blasts upward with insane force, terrifying, like reverse bungee jumping. Luna asks if he's scared and tells him to hold on tight. Theo agrees, and they land atop the world tree. Luna tells him to get down, but Theo apologizes. His knees are giving out. His legs are still shaking. Luna says she'd stay like this forever. Suddenly Leaves rustle nearby. What's happening? A voice greets Luna and calls Theo the goddess's apostle. A girl named Illumia appears, claiming to be the world tree's soul. Illumia was waiting for people with power like this. Theo asks if Illumia spoke to the elves and demands to know what she meant. Toxic air weakened Illumia, so only those with strong divine power can hear her. She asks if she's interrupting. Theo tells Luna to drop him, but she refuses. She sets him down, and Theo reveals an elven child heard Illumia's voice. Illumia tells Ice the elf child has divine power. Souls reincarnate endlessly through the divine realm. When they return to the mortal world, they keep their divine power for a limited time. She reveals the sacred tree's priestesses hear her voice. Theo asks who the priestesses are, and Luna reveals they're Elena and Anna. Rare elves born with the world tree's power are priestesses, once known as the voice of the sacred tree. Luna connects the dots. Illumia admits she wants to reach the elves, granting her power to anyone strong enough to wield it. Climbing her is blasphemy, so they stay away. Theo asks for the toxic air source to heal her. Illumia is grateful, but warns it won't be easy. Her body's packed with toxic gas, and the source is a hole inside her. Theo's stunned. Stunned by the crisis, Theo and Luna regroup with Elena and Anna. Anna confirms the rumors. Theo really can talk to the world tree, while Elena reels at the tree's decaying interior. Theo asks to cut the trunk and heal the tree from inside. Anna says normally she'd never allow it. But this time she's making an exception. They're both coming along. Elena insists this is an elven matter, and they won't let humans face the danger alone. Theo nods, asking how they'll get inside. He can even craft a tool to cut through. Anna declines, confident her magic is enough. She stretches the branches apart, forcing an opening. Theo gaped as magic alone carved an opening. They approach and thick toxic gas bursts out. Theo realizes the air is toxic, and Luna warns it's lethal. He instantly threw up a barrier to contain the toxic air. Theo thanks her, but Luna says everyone's safety comes first. Layla collapses from the toxic air. Theo stunned, it hit her so fast, the fumes inside that tree must be lethal. He heals her instantly and checks the others. Luna says they're fine. Theo wondered why only Layla was affected. Luna apologizes, explaining Layla lacks the divine power to resist the toxic air. Just holding back the toxic air is pushing her to the limit. Only Theo, Anna, and Elena can go inside. Theo steps up, but Layla stops him. Even with resistance, that toxic air is deadly. Theo ignores the risk, charging in to save Illumia and the elves. Elena tells him. She praises Layla's resolve and draws her blade to slice the toxic air, declaring it's time to repay the tree for its protection. Layla saw Theo's resolve and apologized, certain he'd return. She vows to repay him, kisses him to renew her favor, and warns him not to be reckless. Elena looked pleased, yet the sight stunned her. Theo thanks Layla it's time to move. Layla warns him to stay safe and promises to wait outside, while Luna wishes them luck. Theo, Anna, and Elena enter the tree. Anna lights the dark passage with magic, warning it's a slow trek to the core. Pushing forward, the toxic air thickens, making Theo struggle. Anna stops dead, confusing Theo. She warns the toxic air cleared out way too much space. Noxious air rotted every root in sight, making Theo doubt he could ever cure it. Anna calls it dreadful, then they spot something far darker. A monster appeared. Anna recognized the threat and unleashed her magic. Suddenly, spikes burst from the ground, ambushing the trio. The world tree's dark presence is finally revealed. It's a massive tree ant, and they're stunned. Theo realizes this isn't a normal mob, it's a powerful elder tree ant. He found the culprit choking the world tree with toxic roots. The enemy's powerful, but he knows they'll win if they go all out. Alana snaps, she already knows, as Anna readies her magic. Spikes rain down, sparking a brutal fight. Anna realizes the toxic air buffed the beast. Elena screams for Theo to run, but he's got other plans. The monster used toxic air to control the roots, but his hue shredded them instantly. Too many roots to cover. They're barely holding the line, but Theo knows the monster will eventually burn out from the strain. The monster sucks toxic air through its roots to power up. Anna warns they're in trouble. The air here is pure poison, giving the monster a limitless power source. Plena hated just defending, knowing fire was the tree ant's fatal weakness. Anna's ready to burn it, but needs the team to buy her time to charge her mana. Theo vows to protect her with everything as Anna starts her chant. Theo and Elena fight for survival against the roots. Elena strikes down a monster lunging at Anna, mocking it for trying the same trick twice. Alina terrifies Theo as the monster swings a wide arc to strike Anna. Alina screams for Anna to run, but Anna's still oblivious to the danger. Theo blocks the strike on Anna with an autocraft barrier, leaving Alina baffled. Theo barely raised the iron wall in time, calling it a close call. Alina wondered if Theo found or created the item, since he could summon things from thin air. She also remembered his hoe that purifies toxic air. He questioned his identity while Anna thanked Theo and Alina for buying her time. Ready to strike, she unleashes Rise, Fire, and Dance Wind. Fuse the twin magics to unleash Flamestorm Velsard. Theo scorched as Alina watches in shock. Anna just fused 2 height tier spells, a feat only she can pull off. She added the attack packed the full force of Anna's magic. A branch shoots up and snags Anna, leaving Theo and Alina stunned. They look back, the monster's already shielded itself with its roots. Alina rushes to help, but Anna stops her. The enemy is still active. Alina gets snagged, leaving Theo alone to face the swarming roots. He had to save them fast, or they'd be strangled to death. Roots swarm, Theo fights them off while rescuing both Anna and Alina. Theo thought he and the divine boy could restrain the roots, but they're endless, and he fears they're both about to die. Roots shredded their clothes and tightened their grip, making them feel incredibly uneasy. Theo checks on Alina and Anna. Told to focus on the monster, he refuses to abandon them. Both Theo charges, but Roots ambush him from behind. Anna screams a warning as they strike, leaving Alina sure he's finished. A massive blast stuns everyone. Theo remembered the goddess gave him a second god medal. He pairs it with autocraft to forge a divine great axe. If the sword failed, he'd forge a weapon to restrain them all. He rushed to save Alina and Anna. Theo blushes, turning to point out their torn clothes. Anna turns away, apologizing for her weirdness. Alina warns Theo not to look, but he says he isn't. He spots more roots and slashes them away. He realized the god metal logging axe was built to suppress the toxic air. He charges the beast, but a swarm of roots lashes out. Anna realized it instinctively knew the axe was its natural enemy. Panicking, they warned Theo not to charge alone. Even with divine axe, he couldn't handle this many roots. Theo taps Layla's power for a speed boost, stunning both sisters with his agility. They had to help. Alina questioned Theo's bond with the elves. Why risk everything for them? She'd been cruel to him, yet he's still fighting for them. Why is her heart racing? Theo lunges and slashes, but the monster's roots block him again. Theo knew the monster was stacking shields to stop his blade, so he decided if so, he'll just keep hacking away. A root lunges, but Alina blocks the hit, snapping that Theo's too fixated on the shield. Theo thanks her, making her blush, then points. He blamed the toxic air for her red face, but Alina insisted she was fine and told him to stop staring. Roots swarm Alina next. She fights back and orders a retreat. Theo's axe was amazing, but the treat's finally serious. They need to reset, but Theo refuses to retreat. Alice's advice: focus on defense and wait for an opening. He knew an opening was coming. Constant pressure would keep the Triumph pinned on defense. Works on normal foes, but this monster has infinite energy. Roots regrew instantly the second he cut them. Theo spawns a divine hoe and hurls it. Alina's stunned. Where's he aiming? Theo's betting everything on this one gamble. Theo demands a buff from Anna. She agrees, and he tells her to go all out. He'd use her spell plus the Master Swordsman's favor, and the hero's favor within, despite the agonizing pain. He triggers both favors and the power spell, but the massive strain is crushing him. He knew it'd work. He lunged, shredding the roots, and finally he's face to face with the monster. Stunned by his power, Alina warns the roots will just grow back, but Theo tells her he's got this. He claimed he already had a plan. Alina spots the divine hoe falling from the sky, doubting it can stop the monster. Theo knew the tree ant was too focused to look up. This was the end. The tree dodges the blow and mocks him. Theo planned for this. Suddenly, a blinding light erupts. The tree screams in agony, leaving Alina stunned. The roots stop cold. Theo's hoe cleansed the soil, forcing the tree to absorb divine power, a lethal poison to its system. Was this Theo's plan all along? The shield was down, and the monster was wide open. He hacks the Trine again, demanding payback for Illumia and the elves. The monster's head rolls away as its body vanishes. Back in the village, Lumina and her mother Lyra pray. Lyra calls it a day, but even though Lumina agrees to leave, she doesn't budge. Lyra asks what's wrong, but Lumina just wants to thank the World Tree for leading Theo to her. A sound rings from the World Tree as the toxic air clears, destroying the roots worked. Theo's relieved, the world tree's divine power is finally back. Anna rushes him, spamming thanks, barely dressed. She pulls him into a tight hug, his face buried in her softness. Elena snapped, telling Anna to back off because Theo wouldn't like it. Anna worries leaving makes it worse, but Elena says staying is even more embarrassing. She shields Theo's eyes as Anna scrambles into clothes, warning the area is about to be sealed. Theo pulls Elena's hands away to see her and Anna. He wants to believe, but restoring this hollow void takes massive power. Suddenly leaves swirl to life as Illumia appears, thanking them for purifying the toxic air. Anna and Elena are stunned. Illumia is the world tree's soul. She thanks Theo, glad she trusted him with everything. Illumia thanks the duo but teases them for the interruption. Anna quickly denies it, explaining their clothes were just shredded in the fight. She asks if Illumia's divine power is back. Illumia admits her wounds are too deep, she's living on borrowed time. Elena's shocked was the kill for nothing. Illumia cuts her off, she's not finished yet. She hands Theo a world tree seed, a reward for purifying the toxic air. She created a seed, if Theo grows it, she'll move in. She's done this before to migrate and guard new lands. Theo catches on and offers to plant it, but Illumia shuts him down. Toxic air poisoned the land, so she's hunting for fertile ground with people. Theo says his village is the only one in the area. He warns that human-hating elves might resist, but Anna insists. Wherever the world tree goes, the elves follow. Anna asks to settle the elves in the village, and Elena offers to make Theo their chief if the others agree. Theo's left floored by the sudden title. Theo hesitated at the title of elf chief. Anna asks if elves are banned from Theo's village, but he quickly shuts that down. He'd love them to visit his village, but the elves won't accept him as chief. They only follow Anna and Elena. Putting a human in charge would only spark resentment. Anna says it's no problem. Theo saved the world tree, earned Illumia's blessing, and received her seed. Now he's a legendary hero to the elves. Elena admits she'd normally oppose him, but his achievements forced her respect. Theo stopped overthinking. His autocraft skill made building easy, and since the elves were kind, the village would welcome them. There was zero reason to refuse. He finally welcomes the elves to his village and offers Anna a handshake. She thanked him, eager to live alongside his people. Illumia's glad she gave Theo her seed, but he just brushes it off. She asks what happens to the world tree. Without her soul, it'll slowly rot away. The process purges the toxic air. It'll take time, but life will return to the forest. She asks Theo to visit when the day comes, and he agrees. Illumia floats in, says goodbye, and kisses his forehead. Theo's flustered while Elena fumes. Illumia leaves, entrusting Theo with her kids. He accepts, hoping they'll meet again. Anna teases Elena for letting Illumia beat her to it, but Elena snaps back that she didn't even want to. Theo wonders what's being said, but Elena covers his ears and tells him to stay out of it as they leave. Luna and Layla rush out, sandwiching Theo in a crushing hug. He explains the world tree incident and invites the elves to his village. The elves hesitated, stunned by the sudden order to migrate. Theo didn't want to overwhelm them by forcing everything at once. An elf asks Elena if she's really okay moving to a human village. The world tree chose Theo, and for Elena, that's all the proof she needs. They agree, and Illumia raises her hand, choosing Theo's village. The elves gear up, realizing Theo isn't like the humans from 20 years ago. His kindness proves not everyone is a monster. They're moving to Theo's village. Theo thanks the crew as they prep for the move. Moving 100 elves is a massive task requiring endless carriage trips, so Theo suggests a truck and vows to find oil. He returned to the village and briefed everyone. He built the elves a camp and helped them pack. It was grueling, but he finished without. Anna stares back at the elf village, heartbroken to leave her childhood home behind. Theo tells her the last carriage is gone, it's time to move. She agreed but realized she forgot something. Theo offered to help, and Anna bows to the world tree, thanking it and praying Illumia keeps watching over them. Theo, Anna, and Elena hop on Luna. Elena screams at Luna's insane speed, while Theo enjoys the night breeze. Theo calls Elena, but she snaps and turns away. He's crushed, sure she still hates him. Anna checks Elena's attitude, reminding her they're getting married. Theo told Elena not to force it, finally realizing what Anna meant about spouses. Anna asks if he knows the rule. Once the priestess steps down, she's forced to marry the new chief. Theo is stunned as Anna suggests he marry them both. Theo's shocked, both want to marry him. Anna asks if polygamy is banned, but Theo confirms the law isn't the problem. But would Elena actually marry him? Anna confronts Alina, who claims she was just following the rules, but adds that the fight proved Theo is reliable. Theo just wanted friends, but Alina's already set on marriage, and he didn't even notice. Everything is happening too fast, and he's completely at a loss. Luna calls it wonderful and teases Theo to marry her too, but he tells her to quit joking. Anna gets Theo's hesitation. It all happened way too fast. Marriage talks can wait until they're closer, but she calls Theo husband anyway, leaving him floored. Anna pushed Alina to use the same name, but she flat out refused. Theo knew the world tree was wrecked. Without it, the elven village is doomed. Soon, every elf settled in Arca village. The crowd cheered, officially welcoming the elves to the village. Anna thanked the humans for accepting the elves. The crowd's pleased, but the men are flustered and hyped, questioning Anna's elf fashion while a girl finds it inappropriate. Anna thanks Theo, calling him her dear husband, but he brushes it off, welcoming the new villagers and telling her to drop the title. The villagers noticed, asking if Theo got married and congratulating him. Theo denies it, explaining that elven custom forces the former chief to marry the new one. But Anna didn't need to force it. Hannah insists it's not forced. They both love Theo. Theo felt blessed, made a quick excuse, and bolted. Stepping outside, Theo's mind raced. What should he do about marriage? Luna warns him, keep lying to escape, and it'll eventually bite you. Theo ran, but he still got business to settle. He shows her the seed, today's main task. Luna asks, and Theo reveals the world tree seed Illumia entrusted to him. He felt divine power radiating from it. Illumia wants it planted in a crowd, so he picks the central square. Luna agrees. The sun and energy make it exactly what Illumia wants. Theo pulls a bag of white powder from his inventory, explaining he ground the turtle's bones into dust. Hearing bone powder's great for soil, Luna bursts out laughing. Most turn calamity monsters into weapons, but Theo uses them as fertilizer. He never stops fascinating her. Theo asks if he's abnormal. She retorts that real deviants always think they're normal. Theo shows Luna the seed, fearing it'll rot instead of grow. Luna says those overnight crops warped his mind. Real plants don't grow that fast. She tells him not to worry. With soil this good, it'll bud by tomorrow. She rubs his head, and a relaxed Theo agrees she's right. He'll wait. He knew the elves were nervous about their new home. He believed the world tree's growth would finally bring them peace. He shakes off the worry, hoping it grows fast. Next day, Alina bursts into his room with urgent news. Theo asks what happened, so Alina tells him to just step outside and see. Theo steps out and freezes. The world tree has grown massive. Smaller than the last, but he felt its raw divine power. The world tree stuns the elves, leaving them confused while the villagers whispered Theo was behind it, joking his peaceful life was officially over. While everyone works, the stunned elves realize humans are absolutely terrifying. Theo wanted fast growth, but he didn't expect it this soon. Leaves swirl into a tiny Illumia, and she's just as shocked. The elves are stunned. Illumia, the world tree's soul, just appeared, even though only those with divine power should be able to see her. Illumia reveals the divine soil lets them communicate, even without being priestesses of the sacred tree. The elves bow in gratitude. Illumia thanks Theo, but he's just happy to see her again. Lumina asks if Illumia is the world tree, and she confirms it. Lumina reveals she's Illumia's big sister. Lyra apologizes for her daughter's rudeness, but Illumia brushes it off, saying she'll try to outgrow Lumina soon to make Illumia the little sister. Finally able to talk, Illumia lets the elves speak freely. After a brief pause, they thank her for saving them from the toxic air. Watching from afar, Theo knew his power was in the right hands. Illumia was succeeding, and Theo couldn't be happier. She could finally talk to every elf. The elves thank Theo for their new home and world tree access. He brushes off the praise, but the cheering crowd hoists him into the air, grabbing air barehanded. Watching silently, Anna noted everyone accepted Theo as chief. Alina agreed, saying she was set to train the soldiers for the silver-haired maid, but Anna stopped her. It was time for their duties as priestesses of the sacred tree. Alina agrees. That night they summon Theo to their room for a serious talk. Theo enters to find them in strange human clothes, greeting him as their husband. Theo sits and asks what they want. Anna thanks him again, admitting they couldn't have beaten the Treant alone. Theo credits them for the win, insisting he isn't actually that strong. Alina coldly told him to quit being humble, adding that even she couldn't deny his results. Theo caught her eye, but she looked away, acknowledging his strength, but still. She still hated him. Anna cut to the chase, an old village legend. She reveals a savior and the sacred tree priestesses once rescued the village from total ruin. She doubted the legend, but now she knows Theo is the savior. Time to fulfill the legend. She tells Alina they're moving out to perform their priestess duties. They stand Linen and kiss Theo's cheeks, leaving him flustered. Anna grants him the priestess's blessing for protection, but Alina's mortified. Theo tells her not to force it, but she snaps that she's just doing her duty. She kicked him out, but Anna snapped. Alina can't treat her husband like that, and demanding she show him affection, Anna suddenly grabs Alina, leaving her flustered and confused. Anna reveals Alina's cold act is a lie. Her racing heart proves she truly loves Theo. Elena denies it, so Anna orders Theo to attack. He's baffled, but Elena screams for him to kill her, leaving a stunned Theo wondering if she's finally snapped. She meant it knowing he'd never force her. Annoying. Elena snaps Theo's, testing her patience. She kisses him, shoves him onto the bed, and climbs on top. Theo felt something soft and apologized. He panics over the accidental touch, but Elena reveals her promise to Luna. He's allowed to touch her whenever he wants. She tells him to open up, and their intense kiss leaves Anna burning with jealousy. Anna steps in, taking the blame and claiming her turn, while Elena screams for Theo back. Anna leans in for a kiss, tells him not to mind, then kisses Theo too, leaving him dazed. Elena demands her turn, sparking a three-way kiss that leaves Theo stunned. The girls get bolder, showering him with affection all night long. Next day, Theo finds Illumia. She's purified miles of toxic air, giving him massive new land to farm. That's why he's planting a forest for the local elves. Another dream checked off. He finally got his long-awaited orchard. He eyed the apples, oranges, and grapes grown in divine soil, and thinking they're just as tasty as the veggies. Just as he's about to eat, he spots Alice. He rushes over, thrilled, but she yanks him up by the collar, demanding to know if he married the elves, while Theo just groans that it hurts. They duck into a hall where Alice demands the truth. She's finally back, only to find Theo married other girls first. Theo panics, struggling to explain without making her snap. He offers her Aisha and Layla's fresh apple pie, and Alice digs in while he explains. One bite and she's hooked. The tart crunch is sweet like apple nectar. She catches Theo's food distraction and warns him to knock it off. Theo explains everything, sparking a mock trial with Aisha as judge. Alice points the finger, accusing Theo of dumping her to marry the new elves first. She demands the judge punish the womanizer. Theo panics, wondering what's going on. Misha declares Theo guilty. Stunned, he tries to explain, but Alice shuts him down instantly, leaving Theo wondering if he's even allowed to defend himself. Luna confirms Anna and Alina proposed to Theo. Layla found out at the party, and hearing Anna call Theo husband makes her ready to draw her sword. Alice presents the evidence and demands Theo accept his sentence. Theo asks, "Don't I even get a lawyer?" Anna and Alina cut in, telling Alice to chill. They aren't married to Theo, they're just chasing him, and it's totally one-sided. Theo finally relaxes. Alina claims she's just following custom, but Alice warns her to stay away. Alina vows to marry Theo to protect elven honor, but Alice wonders if it's tradition or just a convenient excuse. Alina blushes and denies everything, but Alice mocks her for being unable to be honest with herself. Alice glares at Theo, making him realize he just played himself. She points again, blaming him and demanding a fix. Theo insists he's doing his best. He stalled the wedding, convincing them they're still too young. As Lord, his mission is simple: make the village happy and reclaim the land of death. Alice accepts Theo's royal burden. Politics come first. Now Theo wonders, is she really okay with him getting married? She says bigamy is common there, so the royals take multiple spouses. Her real problem, he engaged the new elves first, and she wants him too. Leo realized his lack of affection was making her anxious, so he stepped forward to make it right. He approached and apologized, wanting to ask her properly when the time was right. He asked her to wait as he took it. He takes her hand and she turns bright red. She admits true love is hard to voice, calls him hopeless, and demands a better speech next time. Theo agrees. Luna hugs Theo from behind, demanding a love confession. Theo's shock makes her wonder if he even wants to marry her. Anna and Alina grab Theo's hands and pull him close, demanding a speech worthy of their chief. Thomas pulls Theo into a hug, warning the crowd she's his first wife as the room buzzes. Aisha spots Layla hanging back and asks her to join. Layla. Shayla's ready to blow up every girl near Theo, but Aisha shuts the violence down. She claims Layla wants to marry Theo too. Blushing, Layla admits she truly loves him. But she's just a maid, and marrying her master is strictly off limits. Aisha paused, muttering that she had no other choice. Layla asks if Aisha spoke. Aisha denies it, instead asking how and when Layla became Theo's maid. Aisha asks why she quit adventuring, so Layla offers to explain her fateful meeting with Theo. She remembers 3 years ago at the Fornia capital fortress. The capital's adventurer guild was buzzing with life. Someone pulls out a severed dragon head, shaking the building and grabbing every eye. Everyone wondered who killed the massive monster Layla. Layla explains adventurers are basically mercenaries, hunting monsters and gathering resources. Everyone starts at E rank, climbing for better quests and bigger rewards. That's the dream. Most adventurers stall at D rank, less than 1% ever hit A. Still, one adventurer hit S rank in just 2 years. That dragon head was her trophy. She's the mystery adventurer who hit S rank at just 15, and she has the receptionist confirm the quest, leaving the crowd stunned. How did a kid reach such a high rank? She was gorgeous, but since she never joined a party, no one dared approach. An A-ranker vows to win her over, asking for her help on a high-level quest. He wants her to team up. She refuses and walks out, but he begs her to stay. He grabbed her shoulder, demanding respect. He was a top A-ranker destined for S-rank status. Addis fumed, nearly drawing her sword but holding back. She glared, warning him not to ask twice. Terrified, he apologized and bolted. Layla scans the quest board, but it's all boring trash. She tells Aisha she was born into a legendary swordmaster family, and she wielded a sword before she could even walk, surviving years of brutal training. By 13, she'd already surpassed her father and trainer. She left home to test her limits as an adventurer. She hit S rank with ease and soloed a dragon without a scratch, a feat even top-tier pros struggle with. She was rich enough to retire and travel, but her obsession with the sword kept her fighting. During the bored to death, she hunted for a new thrill. She asks the receptionist for hidden high-rank quests, but the clerk apologizes. Nothing's available right now, though she does mention. Someone requested her specifically. Layla wondered if it was all a game. S-ranks usually handle boring merchant escorts, but this job was different, so she accepts. The hyped receptionist pings the client right away. Days later, she finds the meeting spot in a back alley and smells a trap. Fake quests are a common way to lure and rob adventurers of their gear. She warned attackers they'd regret it. Suddenly, a man in a face-covering coat appeared and asked if she was Layla. She wonders if he's the quest giver. Since he spoke to her directly, he's likely no bandit. She acknowledges him. He lunges with a sword, but she dodges and strikes his back. He's stunned. When did she get behind him? She's way too fast. Layla slammed him into the ground with a bag so hard it shattered, telling the bandit he's skilled but picked the wrong target. She turns back as he relaxes, stunned he's still standing. Her full-force attack did nothing. He's practically unscathed. She braced for a fight, but he stopped her, apologizing and calling the ambush a test. Royal Knight Garland introduces himself and flashes a pendant. She recognized the Fornia Kingdom crest. Is he really a knight? What's a royal knight doing here? Is he the real quest giver? Garland said the kingdom couldn't know, so they had to hire an outsider. She asks if he's testing her, and he confirms. They apologized again, promising a bigger reward. She didn't mind, though. A royal knight quest raised questions, but it's a perfect way to kill time. She asks who she's escorting. Garland told her to tag along for a quick introduction. Garland leads her into the woods, where Layla spots guards and a carriage, proving the merchant story was a total lie. A royal knight guard, whoever's coming out must be a high-ranking noble. A woman approaches Layla, claiming she's heard all about her. Isabella introduced herself and thanked her for taking the quest. Layla recognized the name. She was the queen consort. Isabella hushes her, revealing she's undercover, and Layla quickly apologizes. Layla realized they kept the team small to stop leaks. Since they couldn't fight, they hired an S-rank pro like her to handle the heavy lifting. Isabella gave Layla one more person to protect. She brings out her son Theo. He greets her, and one look into his eyes and Layla falls in love instantly. Her heart suddenly stung, but she didn't know why. A mental spell, no magic detected, but her heart races and dizziness hits. She realized her boring life just hit a massive turning point. She collapses. Once things settle, Isabella thanks Layla for the escort. Layla vows to protect them with her life. Layla asks if they're heading to Arklay. Isabella confirms it's her hometown, apologizing for dragging Layla along on the trip. Layla didn't mind, but if Isabella's just going home, why all the secrecy? Life this feels strange, is very fast, let's go with. Theo asks Layla if she finds this situation strange. Wait, Theo asks Layla if this. She asks why Theo's on her lap, but he says Layla forced him. Layla stays close to keep him safe, but Theo warns this position actually makes her job harder. Isabella laughs at their bond, but Theo snaps, telling her to quit laughing and help him. Garland laughs, teasing Theo for riding on a beautiful girl's lap. Theo tells him to stop and he told Layla to back off Theo, but she refused, warning it's too dangerous for him to move. The carriage jolts, Theo nearly falls. Layla catches him, pulling him close. She asks if he's okay, then backs away, apologizing. Theo apologizes too, insisting he's fine. Isabella and Garland thought they were pure, but then she recalled. She says monsters and bandits attacked, but she wiped them all out. Hours later, they reach Isabella's lakeside hometown, Arclay. Layla hits the bustling market, taking in the fresh air and elite lakefish dishes. They finally reach Isabella's home. Isabella offers Layla a break, but she refuses to leave her post. Isabella then took. Garland grabs her hand, telling her to relax and give in. That's just who Isabella was, Layla. She finally went inside to feast, play chess, and bathe. That night she sat alone, soaking in the peace. Ever since leaving home, she's fought daily, and even before that, her life was nothing but the blade. Suddenly, she realized this was her first taste of true peace. Isabella suddenly clung to her from behind, asking how she liked the town. Layla's startled, but they sit as Isabella calls the beautiful view her favorite spot. Layla agreed. The air was incredibly fresh. It was a nice place. She finally saw why Isabella wanted back. Isabella asks if Layla wants to go home too. Layla explains that where she grew up, sword skill was the only thing that mattered. No love, no mercy. To her, the defeated were worthless, only allowed to sharpen their blades. She had no reason to return. Isabella asked where Layla came from. She bowed, apologizing for the trauma. Layla stopped her, saying that she hated her people but loved the blade, wondering why she was even opening up. She hated it once, but her skills prove her grind, making the sword finally fun. She confessed she was still troubled. Isabella asked why. Layla mastered the sword, and now everything's just boring. Swordsmanship was her entire life, and she was lost without it. She apologized for dumping her baggage on Isabella. Isabella grabs her, telling Layla she's far too young for these worries. Isabella slams Layla's narrow mindset, warning that quitting just because she only knows swords is a dead end. Her potential is actually limitless. She calls Layla lucky. Isabella has endless things she wants to do, yet called to the hospital, Layla learns she only has 6 months to live. Lost in the possibilities, he remembered Isabella's words and asked if she was sure. Isabella caught her slip up and admitted the truth. Showing the marks on her hand, Layla reveals her terminal illness. It's a miracle she can even walk. Layla asks if the king and prince know. Isabella confirms that's why the king banned her from leaving. Layla finally realized why Isabella hired her. One more check, Layla finally saw Isabella's true motive. Is hired her essential, yes it. Isabella clasped her hands, apologizing for dragging Layla into this. She was born and raised here and wanted one last look at her home. She remembered talking all night, both of them completely exhausted. They discussed Layla's past and her hero friend Alice. To Layla, it felt just like talking to a mother. Back at the capital, Isabella thanks Layla for the protection, and Layla thanks her for the kindness. Layla's still lugging Theo, and he demands to know why he's being carried. Layla asks why he's questioning it, but Theo snaps she's making him answer his own questions. Layla snaps that he can't answer a question with a question. Isabella notes they're close, so Theo begs his mom for help. Isabella gets emotional, thrilled Theo finally found a true friend. Isabella claps, inviting Layla to a castle party in 2 weeks. Layla suspects a royal birthday, but worries the castle is nobles only. Isabella steps in, promising her invitation is all they need to get in and have some fun. Layla thought her adventuring days ended with Isabella's reign, but when a surprise invitation arrived, she didn't hesitate to reunite. They split up, and walking alone, Layla thought of the party. She'd been to many at the Orstein estate, but never felt any joy. Genuinely happy now, she rushes to the market to grab a party dress. A week after escorting Isabella, Layla's hunting for quests, but every job is a total bore. 3 adventurers gossip nearby. One notes Layla's softened up, so another tells the first guy to shoot his shot. The third shuts it down, fearing she'll slice his armor to ribbons. The first adventurer steps up, flexing his A rank and guaranteeing a win. Someone mocks his shredded clothes, but the A ranker doesn't care. He's confident he can win her over as she is. He confidently invites Layla to a new restaurant, but she shuts him down instantly. He tells her to relax, insisting he'll pay the bill because Layla draws her blade mid-sentence, threatening to slice his claws off if she has to repeat herself. Embarrassed again, he retreats. Alice leaves, thinking it's already next week, and Isabella invited her to the king's birthday party, just 1 week away. She waited for the invite. The receptionist offers Layla a quest specifically for her. She's intrigued, but turns it down to avoid a long grind. The receptionist warns it'll take time since it's the same client as before. Layla didn't need details, she was in. Next day, Layla hits the spot, waiting for her invitation letter. Heading downstairs, she wonders why they summoned her instead of just mailing it. She finds the room, but wonders why Garland chose a basement. Layla knocks and enters, but the voice greeting her is a total stranger. It wasn't Garland or Isabella. Inside, a mouthless woman thanks her for coming, claiming she's been waiting. The woman's honored Layla accepted, but Layla finds her secrecy rude. Mocking humanity, he told her to unmask. Terrified, she refused hearing. Layla decides to pretend the quest never existed. She calls Layla cold, asking if it's because she isn't Isabella. Layla tenses up, demanding to know how she found out. She's an underworld broker with indirect ties to Isabella and access to every secret. No matter how careful you are, someone's always watching, especially the vagrants Layla never noticed. Layla plans to capture and question her, but the woman refuses to fight, calling her methods barbaric. Layla lunges with her blade, but the woman's power froze Layla instantly. Bound by invisible chains, she couldn't move. Still seated, the woman reminded her she wasn't looking for a fight. She unmasks, revealing the mystic eye and shocking Layla. She confirms it's the mystic eye of control, a lucky black market find she transplanted herself. The catch, she can only control one person at a time, then she orders Layla to rip her apart. Layla's forced to rip her own clothes, as the woman reveals she has absolute control over anyone she targets. Closing in, she touched Layla's face and praised her beautiful body. She'd make a fortune selling Layla to a noble. Layla demanded the woman's true goal. She had a much bigger mission for Layla. The king's birthday is next week, and she won. She ordered Layla to assassinate Isabella at the event. Noble women are fighting for the third queen spot, but the king is obsessed with making Isabella his next wife. That's why the hit on Isabella was ordered. Layla protested, arguing Isabella was the kindest soul fighting to survive, and questioned. Why kill her for something so stupid? She had no clue Isabella fought daily just to survive, while a killer plotted her death. Furious, Layla breaks free and unleashes her ultimate blade technique. Ready to strike, she regains control. Stunned, the mystic eye can even dominate dragons. She warned her to stay extra safe. She grabs a slave collar and snaps it onto Layla. Pairing it with the mystic eye boosts her control, letting her dominate even an adamant turtle. Isabella stays locked in her room, only appearing for the king's birthday party in 1 week. He orders Layla to watch her for a week. 1 week later at the party mansion, Theo looks around and spots Layla. He calls out, but she's silent, controlled by the woman's mystic eye. Theo asked if Layla was okay. She looked pale. She coldly says she's fine. Theo relaxes, complimenting her dress. Layla scanned the room, excused herself, and headed out. Leo spots the collar, grabs her hand, and tells her to wait. He's magicless but obsessed. His research uncovered a book detailing illegal, forbidden magical items. That's a slave collar, Layla suddenly. She strikes him to break free and leaves him shouting. Locals swarm Theo, reminding him his divine gift arrives in just 3 days. Isabella sits by a fountain, wondering if Theo's having fun when she spots Layla, noting she made it but needs a breather from the exhausting crowd. Layla draws her sword and lunges at Isabella. Theo blocks the strike with an auto-crafted stone pillar. Theo checks on his mom, but Isabella's stunned by his creation. He shuts her down, no time to talk, just run. Layla's mind-controlled and dangerous, so he'll keep her busy. Layla lunges for Isabella again. Theo knows he's too slow. Garland arrives and blocks the strike. He followed a bad feeling, sensing they were in serious danger. Theo orders Garland to smash Layla's collar and snap her back to normal. Confused, Garland grabs Layla's leg, slams her down, and moves in for a punch. Layla counters, blasting him back. Thea's stunned as she effortlessly redirects Garland's punch. Garland's wide open, Layla kicks him and springs back up. Garland warns Layla's speed and skill are a lethal combo. They need backup now. Theo refuses. If his father learns Layla tried to kill Isabella, she's facing the death penalty. He hated that. Garland warned that fighting Layla, there would draw heat no matter what. Theo warps the battlefield, plunging them into a new dimension. She worries for Theo, but he promises they'll save Layla no matter what. Isabella calls for an expert, telling the group to stay safe until help arrives. Garland asks how he did it and if it was magic. Theo says he'll explain later. Fixing Layla is priority one. Garland agrees, demanding a rematch to finish their earlier fight. At the canal, Layla suddenly lunges forward. He smashes Garland through multiple walls. Stunned, he saw Layla hoist him up and vow to kill Isabella, adding, "She'll kill anyone who gets in her way." Layla's true self is trapped deep inside. She begged for it to stop, knowing her controller was about to kill Theo. Desperate, Layla silently prayed for a savior. Theo's blacking out, but she's determined to smash that collar first. Theo struggles as Garland lunges at Layla, screaming for her to back off. Layla shields with Theo and kicks Garland's hand, disarming him instantly. She grabs the sword, unleashing an elementary silver strike that kills Garland. Theo struggles, shouting that the magic item is manipulating Layla. He knows she'd never do this willingly and begs her to come back. Layla hears his voice, but she's helpless, wishing they'd never met if this is how it ends. Theo asks Layla to return and travel together. Layla tears up, calling it the best trip of her life and wishing she could travel with Theo again. Theo's blacking out. Did his voice even reach her? Suddenly, Alice bursts through the wall, slams Layla, and demands to know what she's doing to Theo. Layla slams into a wall. Theo asks Alice why she's here, but she snaps, "No time to talk. She's not saving him. Isabella sent her." Isabella rushes in to check on a stunned Theo. He asks why she's here, as Alice admits she couldn't stop her. Isabella rushes to Garland, but he's fine, just scratches. He tells her to escape now. A scratch, he's bleeding out. Layla's still got fight in her, but seeing Layla cry, Isabella steps in to help. She tells Layla she knows it's been tough and that she's a mature, elite swordswoman, but she's still just 15. Isabella pitied Layla's cruel fate, but the others warned her to stay back. It was too dangerous. Isabella pressed on, vowing to set her free and daring Layla to kill her. Garland's baffled, but Isabella's done with this world. Helping Layla is her only mission now, with her whole life ahead. He gives the word and Layla bolts forward, leaving Theo stunned. He feared for his mom's life, but Layla breaks down, apologizing for the mess she caused by accepting the party invite just to see Isabella again. Isabella says it's fine, reminding Layla her potential is still limitless. Layla won't let it end like this. Isabella was the first to listen and bring her joy. She can't kill the only person who truly cares. She snapped back, wondering how she let this piece of junk manipulate her. She shatters the collar, revealing she's an S-rank adventurer. She kept crying, refusing to let Isabella die. He moved in, seizing the chance to strip the collar with his skill. Collars out, Layla collapses on Isabella, and Theo falls right on top. Isabella finally reveals her true form to Layla. Layla wakes up in a strange bed, wondering where she is. Isabella and Theo sit nearby, asking how Layla feels. Layla's stunned to see her. Bella used a spellbreaker on Layla, finally snapping her out of the mind control. Layla replayed the encounter and everything that followed, feeling consumed by guilt. Isabella tries to calm her, but Layla apologized, blaming herself for ruining the party. Isabella reassures Layla, explaining Garland's knights arrested her controller and proved Layla's innocence through interrogation. Layla meant to kill Isabella. Even if she's cleared, she can't shake the guilt. Isabella tells Layla to atone by helping Theo. Layla knew her time was up, and Garland's knightly duties meant he couldn't stay to protect Theo. She tasked Layla to protect Theo in her place. Kayla hesitated, arguing Theo's a prince and anyone could replace her. Isabella touches sleeping Theo's head, declaring he's no ordinary child. The king and Niels avoided Theo for a reason. Layla asks why he's different, and Isabella reveals the truth. Theo knows impossible secrets and longs for a world he's never even. She's certain Theo's from a completely different world. Layla asks if Isabella isn't his real mother, but Isabella confirms she definitely gave birth to Theo. He was expected to be stillborn, and her weak body couldn't sustain him. Pushing any harder would have killed them both. Theo's safe birth was a miracle, proving the goddess had gifted her another soul. Layla checks if Isabella's okay, but Isabella apologizes, admitting she's new to these emotions. Raised strictly by a legendary sword master, Layla has no idea how parent-child bonds actually work. Her training was a living hell, and her father always despised her childhood weakness. Never allowed to cry to her mother, she was forced to only wield a blade. She never knew love. Now she questions if Theo has a second soul, and if Isabella can even call him her son. Isabella agreed. Theo's her son regardless of his past, and she won't let anyone, not even the goddess, deny it. Stunned, Layla leaps from bed and kneels to Isabella, pledging her life to Theo and saying she swore to protect Theo with her life. Isabella thanked her, then died 4 months later. Months passed. No time to mourn. Garland S. stripped of his guard rank and exiled, while Alice dives into hero quests. Layla became Theo's maid. Theo hears a noise and bursts into his room to see. The room's a total mess. Layla greets him, leaving Theo confused. She writes. She says she's cleaning, but to Theo, she's just making a mess. She only knows the sword, so she's useless at housework. Theo asks about her outfit, and she reveals Isabella recommended her as his personal maid. Layla says she's excited to work for Theo, then suddenly, he finished the story and Aisha burst into tears, moved by a bond she never knew they shared. Layla promised Isabella she'd serve Theo for life, but refused to become a burden. She wouldn't interfere, no matter who he chose to marry. Polygamy is legal here, so Aisha suggests Layla just marry Theo. Layla refuses. She loves Theo, but he only sees her as family. Theo, sitting right beside her, called it a total lie. Hyla's stunned and asks how long he's been there. Theo says he just arrived, the others are busy elsewhere. He demands to know what he meant by that lie. Theo wondered if Layla would marry him. Layla's flustered. Does Theo even know what he's saying? Theo admits their physical contact sparked feelings, and he's ready to take things to the next level. He told her not to force the marriage, but Layla leaned in and demanded they tie the knot for real. She was blind. She never expected Theo to see her that way. She vows to handle the chores after marriage and demands at least 10 kids. Theo's stunned. She's moving way too fast. Layla puts Theo on the couch and tells Aisha they're busy for the day. Aisha agrees to return tomorrow afternoon, tells them to have fun, and heads out. Theo begs Aisha for help, but she bails. Layla locks eyes with him, declaring she can't hold back anymore. Theo resisted, but she wouldn't stop. Outside, Aisha heard everything. Theo realized Layla was holding back, and he was next. They share a great kiss, then ask how it felt. Testing her growth since last time. Theo agreed she'd improved. He headed for the door, favor officially repaid, and told her it was time to go. She pins him to the floor, vowing he won't escape until they finally do it. She promises her best for her first time, but Theo stalls, putting his duty as lord before marriage. She pins him, muzzling his mouth to keep him frozen and silent. Theo later admitted he fell asleep and kissed her happily. Layla suspects Theo visited the girls last night, while Theo wonders why she's pressing her body against his face over nothing. He recaps the night and Layla assumes he slept with them. Theo corrects her. He took a favor but didn't cross the line. Theo explains the goddess blocked him last night, revealing how it all went down. He'd wait until everyone was happy, but Layla asked if he knew their true feelings. Thanks to Theo, they were already thriving, but toxic air and monsters still linger, but Theo's fixing it all while putting everyone else first. Layla grills him about the goblins, the turtle, and the world tree incident. She remembers entering the land of death, where Theo soloed a monster just to spare her the burden. She loved his selflessness but wondered, should he put himself first, or was he just avoiding her? Theo stunned, denying everything and swearing his love is real. After his mom died, Garland was exiled. Alice saved him from a lonely death in the land of death, becoming his maid when he had no one left. He was truly happy. He'd be crazy not to love her after everything she's done. He gave her the green light, but asked her to go easy for his first time. With a perverted gaze, she apologized, unable to resist taking his first time. Outside, Aisha hears everything, paralyzed by shame. Theo realized the goddess never stopped, holding him until the next evening. He called the experience incredible. The hallway was soaked that night, and he wonders why. At the border, Garland rides her carriage and tells the merchant he's made a total killing. The merchant credits the slender guy for selling their blankets at double the price. They wonder who he is, but Garland slaps the merchant's back, calling him amazing. He claimed no secret trick, just a solid product and a killer exchange rate. Garland's free ride isn't free. The coach demands he earns his keep. The coachman's bound for Fornia, but offers to take the merchant straight to the capital. The merchant chooses the land of death. Garland's stunned. Why walk into a total death trap? The merchant claims he's just visiting his little brother. Theo hits his bed, replaying everything that went down with Layla. He needed sleep today or he wouldn't survive. He wakes up in a mysterious cafe where the goddess pops in and smacks his head, making Theo realized he was in the divine realm. She agreed, and Theo wondered if he'd messed up again. The goddess confirms it, summoning him to warn him about his actions with Layla. Theo wonders if she's spying. The goddess reveals his favor skyrocketed, warning him to wait a few days before updating. Fail and his heart explodes, spraying fluids everywhere. Theo knows the risk, he's more curious about her outfit. Knowing Theo's maid obsession, the goddess suits up and asks for his take. Theo calls her look lively. Beaming, the goddess reveals she built a divine cafe solo. As the goddess of earth, fire, and creation, this was effortless for her. She made this reward for Theo's hard work, but he insists it's not necessary. Thinking he's clueless, she lanes in and tells him to quit acting up and just take her reward. She lanes in close, suggesting they update his favor first. He'd hit his favor limit. Annoyed, she warned that helping now would just get Theo exploited. First Alice, now Layla, she wonders when her turn is next. She tells Theo to brace himself, she's going to spoil him rotten from here on out.